What does it tailor the tape tell us, do you think, tonight? Possessions, is that a Mercedes difference? Do you think if Mercedes in touch with his 30-odd possessions and Lloyd with his 8 or 10 marks? Is that the difference?
Well, there's a number of players you could say are the difference out there in various roles, but certainly the statistics are very appealing for Essendon. Not so for St Kilda. They're going to have to change a lot of those stats tonight to be a chance.
That's a scary one. They average 133 points a game. That's 20 goals, 13 every time they go around. That's pretty big, isn't it? Berkey, we didn't think we'd see him out there, did we, at one stage last week?
He's a soldier, this bloke.
Yeah, well, as you made mention there, Jason, we're going to have Spider going into the ruck. There's Wakeland going down to his opposite number in Lloyd. No surprises there, but I reckon they'll just try and get their best ruckman in there, Big Spider, and try and get the thing motory for a couple of quick ones. Then they'll throw Monkey on and try and mismatch them down forward.
Saints to the left. The centre clearances will be critical here, and there's a free kick, I think, to St Kilda.
Against Ramanaskas, came in early off the wing.
Fletcher centre half back at the moment on Knowles, but he's caught a bit in between Fletcher. Not sure where to go. So Everett with the first kick, and good kick wide to Davis. Kicked a couple last week. We had his father at half-time. He kicked over 300 for the Saints in his outstanding career. In short, and Lowe's just fallen into the hole beautifully to take the mark.
It wasn't a bad little kick. I don't think it was originally intended for Stuart Lowe, because Spider was running through that space. So, yeah. But he did chip it in front, and that's where both St Kilda players were standing in front of their opponents. And even though it basically went behind Spider Everett, Stuart Lowe was in the right spot. And if he can pick up where he left off last week, they'll go a long way to being very competitive tonight. A very important kick to start things off, get their confidence up.
Good shot of the angle, isn't it? Right behind him, about 48 metres out. Well, it's a good kick. It's going all the way for a goal. He turned 32 during the week, and I say that because he's really into the veteran class, isn't he? But he's a very important player still.
Wholeheartedly. I mean, he's the kind of bloke who, as we said before, could stretch the Essendon defence. That's a little bit of a mongrel. I don't reckon he intended it to go there. Very, very good miss, that one. Found its way out to Chad Davis. But look, do you keep going with Spider? Or if he chops him up in the middle and gives him there, or do you move him up forward?
So the Bombers, with that goal against them, after the infringement out of the centre square at the start, Everett wins the tap, so these centre clearances will keep a close eye on them. The ball to half forward.
How's that for an interesting matchup? Dustin Fletcher on Robert Harvish.
I think he knows he won't be getting the whole game on him.
Heffernan wide to Blumfield. It's between half-back and centre wing. And Blumfield goes long to centre half forward. Mercury was the big fly. Lowe coming at the back. On the up was Zilla. Moorcroft. Well done, Lowe, in the end. The handball wide to Trinides. He's in that patch of dirty-looking grass, really. Knowles says it'll give us okay. Jones, wobbly kick. Davis attacks it. Hardwick attacks him. Forces him to drop it. It comes back. Henneman looking forward to seeing him. Only his second game. Kicks the ball to centre half forward. Alessio front spot. Looked a free kick against Blake. Not paid. Picked up by Burke. Comes out wide.
Good vision.
Carr keeps it in. Davis working hard early. Hardwick with him. And Davis fatigued in the end, I think, and gives Hardwick another one.
And as you mentioned, Dermot, Spider Everett has drifted down to full forward. Dustin Fletcher now the more accustomed role of picking up the key forward.
Just Stewie in the ruck now, just to move around, just trying to throw him around a bit here. Grabs it out of the throw-in, out of the air. Yeah, just trying to throw him around a bit. That's thrown us all a little bit. I didn't think Stewie would probably end up on the ball before Monkey. So will Henneman follow him all around the field?
Low with a bit of strength there. Mark Johnson goes to ground. Moyle over the top of him, just pushes forward. Hurd, hands and knees. Gets it back to Blumfield, around the body to centre wing. Burke did it pretty well. Hudson went in, then Burke provided a very good shepherd. Hudson's taken a long time to get the footy, and in the end probably made a bit of a mess of it. Jones onto it. His skills will be important. Bangs it back. Hurd for courage. Stands his ground and takes it really well. And the Prince is away. Stops, gets around Low, and then bangs it with some authority to Alessio at half forward. A battle. Knowles, Hudson. Again, it's ripped off him. Long, you reckon Michael Long will play a big one again tonight. Peckett to centre wing to Lowe. Lowe sets himself. Carr read it beautifully. Releases Hayes. Kicks it to Everett. Spider can kick a goal.
They're fed Ingham, the Saints. Their tackling's great.
Oh,
goes to Hall.
That was brilliant.
They are fatiguing the Saints. That tackling down on the half-back line is what turned it around here, and they were able to win possession again. When Michael Long had it, he's just not accustomed to having that pressure. The big question is going to be whether they can sustain it for long enough during this game.
Have a look at the disposal from Peter Everett. Barry Hall and his opponent, Sean Wellman, were running back to the goal square. Hall just pushed off Wellman, came on the short lead, and you can't ask for better delivery than that.
Didn't look like missing early last week, did he? Kicked 6 goals.
And the week before, he didn't look like getting one, but not many ruckmen in the history of the game have passed by foot better than that Spider Everett kick.
Well, we're right behind him, and he's kicked it beautifully for another one. The Saints have jumped them a bit. They're 2 goals. And significantly, it's the men you talked about, Dermot, the men you highlighted at the start of the game.
Yeah, look, the big cats are doing it for him at the moment. Big Barry Hall, he actually read it very early. That's a nice kick. Spider got out there, safe hands over his head, and he's just read that Spider's going to turn onto his left foot. Wellman protected the middle of the ground there, and that's what done him wrong. Did him wrong. My language isn't good.
Barnes sitting it out. Well, the centre clearances are important anywhere, but particularly at Colonial. Can the Saints do it again for the 3rd time? Everett, flamboyantly to Harvey. He was in trouble because Johnson was hard at him. Oh, Thompson,
solid
Harvey,
tackle
great tackle from Ramanauskas, but he got it to Knowles. Handball in board cut off by Jason Johnson. Chad Davis, Henneman across him. Davis pushes forward. Fletcher forced to kick high and hurriedly. Well, that's tested it. No one will hit the roof of that one, didn't.
It's close.
Harvey. Mercedes' hands were terrific to Mercury through the centre. Lloyd wants it wide. He's got him. It was a great kick.
That's fit. Is that 50?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a soft one.
Yeah, no, he'd already marked it before he pushed him in the back. It is soft, but the way they adjudicate this season, that's 50. It's consistent.
There's not a defender around, though, that likes to see the forward take an easy mark without at least letting him know that he's there. Oh, that's soft.
Yeah, he's marked it, and then he's done nothing but open-handedly push him in the back, and I agree with you. It's terribly soft.
What it does do, though, is it turns a... well, he probably would have backed him from 50, but it's now certainty.
So Lloyd bangs it through.
Once again, we see the skills of the Essendon midfield. Mercury coming forward there. And Lloydie just actually withheld the lead for a while and gave a couple of staggered little approaches in different directions before he set off, and then he just went straight up the middle. And just enough on the lead there. Well done.
Mercedes' hands were good, weren't they? And Mercury. Two to one, so some of the big names have scored the goals early. Lowe, Hall and Lloyd, Everett. And again, the Saints win it, so they've taken all the centre clearances so far. Fletcher at half-back.
He's just swapping each time, Harvey. One in the centre, one on the half-forward flank.
Good distance from Fletcher to centre wing. Alessio, strong mark.
That's a big matchup for the kid Blake, isn't it?
And then Johnson, Mark Johnson, deep to the pocket. And the ball now out. Lloyd and Wakeland almost letting it drift in the end. Have a look at this since they played, and Kevin Sheedy talked to Hutto about it at the start of the game. Have a look, the Saints have won 6 out of 25 since that night at the MCG, and the Bombers have won 25 out of 27. It's awesome.
That's form, isn't it?
Only Port Adelaide in Adelaide and Carlton in that famous preliminary final have beaten them since then. Ramanauskas, well, he took it a bit easily in the end. Had that huge game last week, big season. Solomon to Mark Johnson with a bit of strength. Henneman running onto it. Then Hurd, handball to Hardwick, clever to Henneman, takes them on and then had it taken away from him by Wakeland, and then took a terrific tackle again, Henneman. Sheedy will be happy with his second efforts. Ball up.
One thing I noticed, when the ball came into the Essendon forward line 2 contests ago, before the last goal, they actually grouped at centre-half forward like the huddle and then burst. Let's have a look at this from front on.
Good tackle.
That is a great takedown, isn't it?
25 possessions to 15 in the Saints' favour, which is interesting after looking at the tail of the tape where the Bombers had the big edge, but we've only been playing about 10 minutes here.
Well, Lee Matthews has a theory that teams start off the following week the way they finished off the previous week. And the Saints certainly have belief in themselves at the moment. They know they're the underdogs, and as you said, Bruce, they've got nothing to lose.
Lowe and Alessio. Thompson. Lowe. Trinides. Good instinctive football there by the Saints. Fletcher. Now, he hasn't been able to keep it in, I don't think.
Just went for a little bit too much ground when you're kicking around the corner. If you really try and give it a roost and you catch it in the middle of the ball, it tends to go pretty straight like that one did.
Trinides, centre wing. Keeps it down low, and unfortunately for the Saints, it was too high for Knowles. A skimmer, and Blumfield read it best. The kick is to Mercury. Trinides went from the front, was a good play. Masidi gang tackled by Carr. Advantage Mercury to Ramanauskas to centre half forward. Lloyd and Wakeland, one-on-one. Free kick to Wakeland. He needed it because Lloyd was onto it.
He was off and running into an open goal, but well done to Darryl Wakeland, taking front position and holding it strongly.
Protected it, didn't he?
It's a good kick, Peckett. Got Moyle at half-back. Had to find him.
He's got good talent, this boy.
Forced to go, gets up and under a bit, but does get it to centre wing. Solomon, one hand in the end. Thompson, he kicked that important goal at the start of the last quarter against Port Adelaide. Davis up and under, Hurd, and also Wellman. Hurd, front spot, didn't take it, interestingly, and the Saints with a real chance. Masidi puts a good tackle on. He had to because it was last man standing and Lowe was released.
That was a good tackle by Masidi then, because Lowe had made his way back in the square. They actually had two players loose, and he had to hold the ball in, not let it spill loose.
Not bad form when you look at it. The Kangaroos, the Bulldogs, Carlton, they were in front in the last quarter and they were won by 10 goals last week. Everett's tap was very clever into the corridor. Zilla worried out of it. So if you take the last 4 weeks, they've actually improved their percentage from 70 to 80 and been pretty good, the Saints, against quality opposition.
Absolutely. They haven't been pasted by the heavy hitters of the league there. So, look, they've done pretty well, haven't they? They've got numero uno to contend with tonight, though.
Mark Johnson and Thompson over the top, so the Saints about 20 metres away from their goal.
They've got good coverage though. You go to the Essendon half-forward line and Lucas is being picked up by Hudson down out of screen. That's probably as good a matchup as you'll find for someone like Scotty Lucas. Ground coverage and height from Max Hudson.
Low. Mark Johnson belts away. Lowe keeps his eye on it. He might have been a bit stiff there. Blumfield coming in very hard. And a ball up.
One thing I've got to say about Stewie, there he gets up, no problems. Half the time for the kids in the team, they need to see a big bloke like that get up, growl, and just snarl at the bloke who did it. And the kids draw a bit out of that. He needs to be just that little bit aggressive.
Just a great tap to Zilla, and Zilla's hit the post. Well, Lowe is getting his hands on it against Henneman, isn't he, as you'd expect?
He's able to just hold him out with the one arm then, wasn't he? Just the biggest, stronger body, much more mature than him.
Short to Hardwick. Yep. We're in unison. Do you want to have a go for a while?
Oh, no, thank you, mate.
Here's Solomon and half back to Jason Johnson. A hard handball in the end. I don't think he saw Lowe.
He snuck up behind Rocky Stoneham.
Now, Blake Hall's outnumbered, makes a contest with Mark Johnson. Heffernan, plenty of time, takes a bounce. They cover pretty well for him. Everett just held it back a bit. Alessio, they've got numbers here, gets a coat hanger, gets a free kick. Suddenly they had numbers, the Bombers, when they were going forward against the Saints, didn't they?
They get that group at half forward and they're actually bombing it to half forward and they just are getting there with greater numbers at the moment. The Bombers hasn't registered on the scoreboard yet, but look, 1, 2, 3, 4 Bombers all in shot there.
Chris Heffernan nearly got cleaned up by Peter Everett down back. He's the man entrusted by the Bombers to look after Robert Harvey when he's running on the ball. 7
goals only this year, Alessio. Kicked 34 last year, coming back tonight. Dermot's talked about the importance of the night for him. He's pushed it away for a behind. He'd love to finish with 4 or 5 and make sure that Kevin couldn't drop him next week, wouldn't he?
He needs to feel that he is exceptionally important to this team.
Gee.
Yeah, he just hung it out there a bit long.
Well, remember when we had the Saints on a Friday night against the Bulldogs and how nervous their kicking seemed to be from the back, but...
Well, Peckett, oh, look, he's had a go there. Well done. You saw the Essendon zone there. 3 across the front and then a few blokes just inside 50, goes outside now. We'll discuss it next time we see it, mate.
It was the Crows game they really made a botch of, didn't they, in the week before the Bulldogs. So, not a bad build-up here. Knowles gets it from Blake and then kicks to Lowe.
Well done, Spider. Just kept his man off Stewie Lowe's back there and disguised the shepherd. Well done.
Now, Alessio's filled the hole here, which will make it hard for Hall, but Lowe's going to go to Hall. Wellman and Alessio, and Hall made a good contest. Jason Johnson and Fletcher to read it. Fletcher gets through. The handbook cut off, but Mark Johnson to Alessio. Little kick wide. Ramanauskas has got time. Over the top. Jason Johnson running hard. He's got more cross than he wants him. Decides to go down the line to Hurd. Free kick. Every time he goes for the ball, he believes he can win it at the moment, Hurd, doesn't he? You can just see it in his eyes.
Yeah, he knew he was going to be taken out of that.
Lloyd at 55. Mercedes on. He's got him.
Well, that's a very difficult kick. Off no step virtually. He's just been able to use a bit of touch, get elevation over the man on the mark, and just drop it into the running line of Mercedes there.
Yep.
No step.
Just chipped it beautifully.
And doesn't want to go too wide, otherwise he's on the sharp angle.
You mentioned James Hurd earlier. He is in great form. It's a big job for Matthew Carr tonight. He was very good last week, Matthew Carr.
Mercedes kicks a good one. Very good one for a goal.
Well, they shore up the gap there. Yeah, look, they had good transference. They had numbers down back there. They outnumbered St Kilda about 20 metres out from goal. They cleared the ball wide, and just a couple of little chip kicks. St Kilda blokes were still sitting back right down the middle of the ground. Didn't push out wide, and they had superior numbers out wide.
Knowles is taken out of the centre square a couple of times, and Everett a couple of times. Knowles not in there for this one, but again, so it's 5-0 at the moment. Hayes going forward. Solomon maybe too cute. Harvey caught up. Good takedown low though from Knowles. Gets it back to Lowe. Bangs it to full forward. Now the Saints have got the numbers, and it ran away from Wellman. A boundary throw in.
What about that centre square setup, Dermot? At this stage, no Harvey, Burke or Thompson in the middle. What are your thoughts on that?
I reckon Essendon have said, well, they're going to go that way. We'll pull out our A team. That's fine to go with theirs. And our B team is better than theirs, but they're defying the odds, aren't they? St Kilda's B team in the middle of the ground are just winning it.
Goal square completely vacant for that boundary throw in. Thompson getting a second, third crack. The tackling fierce from both sides. Fletcher cleverly to the line.
The Stewie Lowe snap at goal. There's probably a few players who might have been able to spot up that loose Spider Everett lead going back to the goals, but you couldn't expect much more under the pressure he was under.
Those centre clearances you're talking about, Dermot, 5-zip in favour of St Kilda at the moment.
Defying the odds, aren't they?
Ziller onto it. Fletcher's had 6 possessions early.
Yeah, he's almost got a loose man role, isn't he? He knows Rob Harvey is going to push up into the middle. He sits back and just reads the ball. He picks up Spider on the run through.
Low hooks it back. Moyle trying to run onto it, dragged down. They'll look for a free. They won't get it. Mercury goes back to Wellman. Now Long's the target. Harvey smothered good, but Wellman has a second crack. Harvey sweats on him a bit. Back to Johnson. That's Jason. Hooks it towards Long. Peckett. Long did it well, but then he just slipped at the absolute critical moment, didn't he?
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to work Peckett underneath it, and then if he had have kept his feet, he was off. He would have had a long run down the wing.
I've got to say, Rob Harvey in the forward line, I like that because St Kilda haven't been able to hold the ball in their forward line against good opposition, and if he's able to find it in there, it's not going the other way.
Everett to Knowles to Mercury. Burke onto him, ball up.
There's a lot of, I suppose you would call it, the resistance of temptation here with Timmy Watson. He could bring on Monkey and say, Spider, go up forward now. We've pinched 2 goals here, but he wants Monkey to run out the whole game and have Spider up forward where he's dangerous later.
Everett, Harvey, good hands, Harvey to Thompson, to Knowles. Bit up and under, gets it inside 50. Ramanauskas gets back low, forced to defend. Moyle flicks it back cleverly in the forward line. Then Hardwick did really well to Ramanauskas, who found a quick kick away. Then Knowles has been very good to Harvey. 48 out, decides to take them on, and then floats to goal and hits the post. They've done it twice. There was a game here, I think, against Carlton where they just kept hitting the post. Yeah, 3 Saturday nights ago. Saw Harvey a moment ago really heaving, didn't we? I mean,
it's not a good sign early for the Saints, is it?
He does that, though. He doubles up. Well, that's his recuperation stance. He just doubles up and just gasps in air. He's done that forever, but he did look to be pulling him in pretty hard, didn't he?
At the other end of the ground, guys, they pushed Alessio into the square, so Wakeland's gone black, and young Blake is on Lloyd.
Interesting matchup, Hutto. There's Jason Johnson. to Henneman, who's away. Now Zilla's going to have to put some pressure on him here. He wants a bad bounce or something.
Yeah, just bottle him up here.
Just sits on him now, which is the right thing to go. Henneman's kick, disappointing. Trianides. Low, had to stand his ground. Heffernan sweeps it to Solomon, to Johnson. They can attack hard here. Alessio wants it high and long, and his big body against Wakeland, and he juggles it cleverly. Well done, Hutto, spotting that a minute ago.
As soon as Steve Alessio saw the ball coming through the middle in the hands of Mark Johnson, all he did was hold front position and call for the ball long. He put the one arm up, one arm back to feel out where Wakeland was. He thought, I'm stronger and bigger. All I have to do is trap this with my free hand.
What's important for him, he's just got to put this one through. He's missed the last one, tugged it left. It was a pretty ordinary kick in actual fact. This one will help him through.
A lot closer.
Well done.
And pushes it through for a goal. Well, they've kicked the last three, haven't they? And they've steadied up pretty well.
Absolutely. I've got to say the important turnover there was about 5 possessions before this. As good as that was, Trianides won the ball on half-back. Essendon are playing... He kicked a mongrel. Essendon are playing a loose man in defence. Trianides had teammates through the middle, a half kick away. He ignored them under pressure, went over their head to the Essendon numbers. It swamps down, and Alessio marks.
It's Mark Harvey and Kevin Sheedy, the closest to us. So the Bombers in front for the first time tonight. Everett, Hayes, and yet again the Saints. So it's 6-0 out of the centre. Hardwick at the back, Harvey getting plenty of it. Terrific tackle, gets a handball away. Moyle might get one here, I think. That's the advantage to Aussie Jones, and Jones lays back and kicks a beautiful goal. Classic Aussie.
That was an important goal for St Kilda because Essendon had kicked the last 3, and the enthusiasm that the Saints had early on had just drifted out of the game. And they just sort of thought, uh-oh, here come Essendon. They're assuming control. So that's got them back to level pegging, and they can let that, you know, that opportunity that they still have to cause a major upset here play heavily in their minds. And if they keep playing like this, that is brilliant Aussie, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, too, Rob Harvey standing up in the tackle with the handball dish off before it got to him. But look, Michael Long said enough is enough. 7 takeaways from the centre. Jason Johnson, you jump out for a second. I'll go in. So we've got Blumfield, McCurry, and Michael Long in there underneath.
Alessio. Let's see if they can win one out. Lucas, who we haven't seen yet, to half forward. Hurd did pretty well, but they got onto him in numbers, didn't they? Trianides had to fish a bit, but that was good to Davis. Decided not to handball to Jones. He used Hudson. Jones will run hard here. Hudson doesn't go for him, but hits Hall with a good kick. Jones is running still. Will Barry go to him? He does. Aussie's got to find it. Hardwick will take him out if he can. And then that comes back in. Thompson. Oh, that was good by Fletcher. Spider wanted it over the back. Some exciting stuff, isn't it?
Absolutely. I just wonder whether Aussie was trying to be too cute then.
Could have just marked the ball, do you think?
Oh, this is the sport.
That
yeah,
was nearly going through.
Yeah, it's just gone the sport. I just wonder whether Aussie could have marked it and retained possession.
Hinneman's kicked wide, and Heffernan's fallen over. So that new turf, both Long and Heffernan have gone to ground. Have a look at this. West Coast 1991 is the last time a team won 12. Now, if the Bombers win tonight, we'll give you an interesting stat about 13 and beyond. There's not too many in 100 years, I can tell you.
That's the stat I said last night. West Coast in the 22 home games of 91 were the best team I've played.
But they didn't win it, Dermot.
True.
Lloyd, Moorcroft, too long. Play on call. Hurd, that was clever. Very clever. Chance for Lloyd. Wrong side. Can he squeeze it back? Oh. Just missing.
He had the option of going over the top to Ramanauskas, who had made a bit of space out on the flank, and Lloyd, he just thought, well, I'm front on the goal. I backed myself to kick it. Just wasn't a clean kick in the end. He's
a full forward. Come on, get serious. Let's take a look at this. St Kilda have got the 3 blokes just in within about 20 metres. There's the Bomber zone. 3 players about 20 metres out from goal. And there you see the circle of players about 15 metres in, the rest on the outside of the 50, and they're going long for Big Stewie.
Come all the way from half forward, Stuart Lowe, for that kick.
Harvey, he's had a big first quarter. The kick to Hayes at centre wing, bad bounce. Again, a couple slipped there. And then Hardwick runs it close to the line, brings back a handball. Harvey slips over. They're going down on that side. Solomon bangs a beautiful kick to Alessio, takes the mark.
Look, I'm being critical. Rob Harvey is one of the absolute... He's going short here.
Across to Blumfield or Hurd. Take your pick. He's got Hurd.
Well, The absolute critical turnover there was that Rob Harvey was not able to give his teammate further up the field a better chance of winning it than if the opposition had been kicking to him. It was a pretty ordinary kick on the run, and really for a Brownlow medalist he should do more than that.
It's interesting that a few of them have slipped in that new turf out there. We'll have to keep an eye on that if that's a consistent trend for the rest of the night.
He made him double back. He's missed the target by 15 metres.
Hurd to put the Bombers back in front. Gee, they've kicked well.
Yep.
He's at the top of his game, Hurd, isn't he? He really is in good form.
Well, this is where he was probably 3, 4, 5 years ago when he had that string of great seasons.
He won 3 consecutive best and fairest leading up to and including 96.
And you'd probably say at this stage he's, well, right up there in the votes this year for Essendon. I mean, they eased him back in off the bench a little bit early, but now he's just getting stronger and stronger with every match. Oh, a bit happening with Matthew Carr there. Free kick. That's a free kick paid against Matthew Carr. Now, just while they were waiting for the ball to be bounced, they were pushing and shoving each other. An umpire's come in. He's actually going to report him because Matthew Carr gave him a short right jab to the stomach. It didn't look like it was much more than a push, but after they'd been warned for pushing each other, you just watch the short right here at the end. Yeah, that's a bit of push and shove. Now the umpire will come in and settle it down. Watch the right hand. They just went out of view then, and a 50-metre penalty has gone on top of that, which basically means consecutive kicks and goals to James Hurd.
Well, it drives you mad if you're a St Kilda coach or supporter, doesn't it, or a player.
But it's funny, Bruce, a lot of this happens. It's a battle of strength. You're sticking up for yourself. You've got to know where to draw the line.
The intensity, though, I mean, if you get kids souped up to be totally and utterly intense and really want to
just watch this, Dermot. Now, that's fine. They're trying to assert authority. The runner comes in, says, James, that's enough. The umpire's just there. He saw the little right. It was a nothing push, but it was silly.
No, that's not it. I reckon it's the left hand. I can't pay that chase.
That was it, Dermot.
I can't say that right hand is for a goal.
That was the one.
Dermot, I was down here, saw it, and I cannot believe it. That is just unbelievable.
No, I won't have that. I reckon it's the open-handed push to the jaw.
Guarantee it's that short right hand.
Yep, no.
All right.
I reckon, Hutto, you're spot on. That's what he paid it for, and it is, well...
Well, I'm having no part of it. I can't even say it. I'm staggered.
It won't get to Monday night, surely. But it has cost them a goal.
Well, now's the time the Saints have to lift that intensity again and become ferocious at the ball and the opposition when they have the ball.
5-2 to 3-3.
That hurts.
Well, suddenly there's a 2-goal game, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Hurd's got 2 alongside his name without much of a sweat. Mercedes kicked to half forward. We've got to hold up here. Blumfield, fantastic take to Lloyd. Releases him forward. Lloyd for goal. Lloyd, well, he's kicked that terribly. That was not a hard kick on his left foot.
Again, that's one of those where you try to kick it around the corner, and if you're not careful, you hit the ball right in the middle instead of on the end that you need to. It will go straight. He perhaps could have straightened up and kicked the drop punt there.
Could have run in the end, really. But the kick around the corner is almost foolproof for the top players these days, isn't it?
Yep. A lot of them prefer it to the drop punt. There's a lot of margin for error as long as you hit the right side of the ball.
Carr's kick wide to half-back. Harvey, busy as ever. Knowles has been really good. Hooks it back. Bouncing ball. Hall waits for it. Wants a bit of luck and didn't get it. Wellman attacked it. He'll be disappointed, Hall. And then kicks it wide. Well, Long's outnumbered left, right and centre. Burke took a really good mark from the front. Lowe was always a chance at the back. And then he pushes to Lowe to centre wing. A long way from home. And
Dustin Fletcher waits straight down the line. Looks over his head to where Hall's leading from. And back into him now.
At 50, Hall tries a one-hander. Solomon overran it. Blumfield's been good.
That came out just a fraction easy.
And good play, second go by Lloyd to Moorcroft, who caresses it, trying to half and half, and he just rolls it through for a goal. Rolls it through for a goal.
Well, a 6-goal quarter is a win in anybody's language. 3 goals to 6. And there's still a minute and a half left. They've done some great work here, the Saints, and undone it in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
An important little tap from Matthew Lloyd. He saw the ball there, and that's just good presence of mind to tap it to the advantage of his teammate. and he didn't blaze away Moorcroft. He thought, well,
it was a half a Hurd and half of the goal, wasn't it?
James hasn't really led. He said, I can't pinpoint him, so I'll just keep it low, keep it on line, and in the end, he got a very favourable bounce.
Bombers away by 3 goals now, deep into the first quarter. Saints kick the first couple, 3 of the first 5. Alessio winning it. Peckett, Burke, left foot out of the centre, but Fletcher's there, and those big hands aren't going to drop that one, that's for sure. Gee, he can kick the ball a long way, can't he? He can bang it hard.
Kicks like a mule.
Carr brought down by Alessio, and then Peckett runs it out and a boundary throw in.
Good disguise, that.
It was interesting to know that Justin Blumfield is now responsible for Robert Harvey, and he's really trying to work forward on him. He's just bolted forward here, trying to make Harvey pick him up, and he's had the 6 possessions. Harvey's had 9.
Knowles off and Plapp on for the Saints.
Long just flicked it back really cleverly to Johnson, to Jason Johnson to full forward. Hurd almost. Moorcroft at the foot of it. Hodgson belts it away. He wants it to go out if it can. It's rolling towards the line and running out of play between halfback and centre wing.
I'll tell you what, Spider Everett's in a bit of trouble at full forward. He's had a bit of strapping applied to his knee, and he is limping noticeably, walking backwards and forwards across the goal square, trying to loosen that left knee up.
Had a good shot over there, Hodgson and Hurd. Hodgson just got it over the top, then Hurd belts a handball out, wanting somebody to run onto it. Mark Johnson does, over the top to Heffernan, has to arch his back and then hook it for goal, and just misses.
There was some great work off the ball there from Matthew Lloyd. When Johnson was running onto that handball, he was just holding back his opponent so that he had a clear path, and he delivered the handball indoors, which in the end just didn't result in a goal.
There's a fair chance the Saints will go to the left-hand side of screen. See the weight of the players just drifting out there. No one from the right-hand screen.
They're looking for Stuart Lowe most of the time.
Yep. There we go. It's a good spot up.
Carr did well to take out Masidi.
Nearly tackled him without the ball. He just disguised it well.
Well, they've just got to hold firm here. It's almost quarter time. Tim Watson and Grant Thomas coming down after we saw Sheeds a moment ago. Lowe lays it down to Thompson. Carr just missed it. He's under the hammer. He's in trouble. McCurry's got him, and he's been paid.
Oh, he hooked that hand in, didn't he? Oh, this might test.
Could he? Well, yeah, he will. I think he just realised he initially thought I'm out of distance, but it does go down as a stat if I have the kick, Dermot. So I may as well have a rip at it.
Tries a torpedo and gets it to within about 15 metres. So the Saints led early by couple, but the Bombers have come home with a rush. Hurd getting those 2 goals in one play basically hurt, didn't it?
Really. I mean, he worked hard for the first one. He knew where he was going for that first one, but the second one, that hurts.
Well, we're seeing the big team tonight, aren't we? No, not the Saints this year. The big team's the Bombers. There's no doubt about that, and they're on the big sports network. Alessio's been the hard man to match up, hasn't he?
Well, they've had to go with the young boy Blake against him when he's gone down forward, and for like a 3 or 4 game veteran, that's a tough matchup, even if Alessio is just making his way back into the team.
Well, he's only missed the 1, Alessio, and he's started pretty well here, and that was terrific to Blumfield, who goes to full forward and got him.
That is as classic a piece of play as you can see. A clean tap from Steve Alessio, and a lot of the players running to congratulate him, right onto the chest of Justin Blumfield. He controlled it well and then just delivered on the left foot to the full forward, leading straight up the middle of the ground.
Can I take you for a trip down memory lane, Jason? What Alan Jeans used to say, the easiest way to play football.
Simple game, Dermot.
The ruckman taps it to the rover kicks it to the full forward, and the full forward kicks a goal.
He hasn't done that yet, but he probably will.
It doesn't get any easier.
Right behind the goals here we are. Had a busy first quarter, Lloyd. Kicked 1 goal. Looked in good form. It's a beautiful kick, isn't it? He's got a couple. He's on song to get 100. I know we're halfway. What was your theory, Jason? 52 at halfway, about the right spot?
I never thought about 52 at halfway. Yeah, I always thought that if you could just concentrate on kicking your 4 a game,
that's great.
You were more than likely going to get a couple of bags along the way, which would get you over the triple figures.
Well done by Blumfield too. He got pretty close in under there, almost too close, and had to stagger back out into a bit of a clean path there, and delivered when he just regained some form of balance there. Yeah, that's great play. Well done.
Out to 4 goals, so it's getting serious here. And Alessio's become very important, and so has Blumfield to full forward again. Lloyd was at the back lurking there. Mercury, well, cleverly done. Still Mercury. He's got Burke to put the pressure on, brings it back to centre half forward, wants a good fly, and he got a beautiful fly in the front. Gee, Blumfield can play so tall. We saw him roving a moment ago and playing as a key forward in that particular passage of play.
Spider Everett limps off as we speak, Bruce, and that's a worry for St Kilda. But look at the control, the fingertip control whilst under pressure. Never took his eyes off the ball. He knows he's got Nathan Burke bearing down on him, and not easy to give yourself a bit of space when Nathan Burke's chasing. Then he just chips it to a dangerous spot.
Spider's gone straight up the race.
Blumfield right in front. Giving it a hook through the... Yep. Gave it a hook off the boot, but he's kicked the goal, and the Bombers have careered away.
And the one thing that Justin Blumfield is doing, he assumed responsibility for Robert Harvey halfway through that first quarter.
This is Carr coming past Essendon huddle at quarter time. Remember the car being reported with Hurd.
But Justin Blumfield is just, whilst he's responsible for Robert Harvey, he is also attacking. He is really trying to take the initiative from Robert Harvey, who has now left the centre square and gone forward.
I just got some words of advice for young Matthew Carr. Don't put up with that. Go back and have a go at him later.
Do you remember Waverley Dermot a few years ago?
Yeah, same team. One of these two.
Blumfield, Ramanauskas.
Don't ever let him win a battle over you in the mind.
Alessio. Good trap by Lloyd. The hands were very good. And another one to Johnson. It's a procession.
Well, it's reminiscent of a game that has just gone into like the 10-minute mark of the fourth quarter at the moment. The floodgates suddenly open. Let's hope the Saints can really shore it up here and just stop the flow. I mean, quick takeaways from the centre, reverse of what St Kilda did. Quick takeaway once again. Well done by Lucas, feeding off.
The best thing to watch about Essendon, Dermot, is just their cleanness of hands. When they're handling the ball, it's just so clinical. I mean, they're a level above most of the other sides in the competition.
Fair wave of Essendon players coming forward through the half-forward line there to receive turn.
So 6-goal margin here.
This is where Lloydie leads out to the left if they get a takeaway here. It's wide open for him, the Essendon forward line.
Ramanauskas, he kept his eye on it despite the pressure. Blumfield at centre half back. Missed his target. Fletcher to mop up. Does well. Gets to Alessio, who's been so important. He's doing the Barnes right there, running off. We haven't seen Barnesy so far. Now Mark Johnson to run hard. Stretching Moyle. Stretching him out. And then bangs it to full forward. Mercury at the back. Front spot was Wakeland. Burke besieged and held up. Ball up.
Got to describe what happened at the centre bounce there. Lloyd's in the square, the goal square, and every other Essendon player is slanted towards the screen, so completely, if you draw a line down the middle of the ground to the left of that line, there is open space for Lloyd to lead into.
Hurd, he had a long time to Moorcroft, back to Jason Johnson, who's kicked one already, he's kicked two, and the Bombers have got 10.
There was a lot of Essendon numbers around that ball there.
This could turn into a real procession now. That's the worrying thing for the Saints. We've seen Peter Everett leave the ground. They need to be playing at their best just to be competitive with Essendon, and if they're a little bit below, they're going to get hammered.
Yeah, Zilla obligated to leave his opponent there, chase the ball, and that freed up this man, Jason Johnson, to kick the goal. That's that view from behind the goal. See Lloyd's there, and see all the players, the Essendon players, take their opponents to the right-hand side of ground. So if the ball comes out the centre quickly, Lloydie leads straight up or to the left.
Can't they score quickly when they get going? As they're going again, Jason Johnson doing a lot of damage here. Burke, Mercury, Moorcroft. It's at 20 metres out, and it'll be a ball up.
Jason Blake has left the field. Justin Plapp's gone forward. He's being picked up by Dustin Fletcher at this stage. But you just wonder what sort of tricks that Tim Watson has up his sleeve, because Essendon's kicked, well, 7 goals in 12 minutes now. Their last 7 goals. That's amazing.
That's at the end of the first quarter and the start of the second quarter. Down to Moorcroft. Couldn't get a handball away. Trinity's got rid of him. Harvey belts it to centre wing. Plapp's on the ground. Belted away from him by Fletcher. Fletcher has a second go. Lowe has to chase. Fletcher's acceleration. Lowe with a chance. Back to Zilla. Zilla pushing forward, but there's nobody back there. Heffernan. Wobbly old kick, but I think it'll find Blumfield. He's got good hands, hasn't he? Hurd's on the burst. Not a great kick. Hurd's had to stop, wait. He used his body against Carr. Pickett to try and get back. Long. Now Burke at half-back, back pocket. Neat little kick, finds low. Can run away here, Stewie.
Come up, Barry Hall. You've got to be a target. You've got to run at the ball carrier. It's going to go short to Thompson. Come on, Barry. Run at him.
Goes now and kicks towards Hall, but he's not going to get that far.
Get there. Forget your opponent. You've just got to meet the ball, Barry.
Heffernan uses Wellman.
He better have a bounce soon.
He ran a long way. He did have a quick one, Jason, and then ran a long way. Mark Johnson's left with it over the back. Gets it to Jason. Lloyd's on the burst. Goes to fall forward. Lloyd sets himself and takes a marvellous mark.
That is a brilliant piece of football in there. Very hard. Everybody knows how hard it is to catch it with one arm while you're fending off with the other. But to catch it on your shoulder bone, and what do you call it, the collarbone, there's a lot of bounce off that thing. It's pretty hard. I mean, you can do it on the chest. There's a bit of padding on the chest and they stick there, but off that bone, the collarbone, that's pretty exciting stuff. Well done, Lloyd.
He's just a magnificent player to watch, Matthew Lloyd. It was interesting watching the ball come in until very late. Wakeland was just chasing Lloyd back to the square and he really didn't have his eyes on the ball until it was too late. Matthew Lloyd had his eyes on the ball all the way.
So Lloyd from point-blank range kicks his 300th goal in league footy.
300. You didn't have that one before, Bruce, this week, Chase?
Well, I'm going to
save 300.
I'm going to save one in a minute for you.
Oh, this will be good. He's got a special one up his sleeve.
It's 11-3 and he's kicked 3.
Watch this one. I wonder if he cradles the chin onto it just to give it more. Oh, the post right in the way from the rear view. Here we go. Let's have a look. Yes! He's pulled that against his cheek. Great stuff.
Here you go, Jason. Only Tony Lockett and Bob Pratt have kicked 300 goals at a younger age than Matthew Lloyd. He's the third youngest man ever. Pratt in the 30s and Lockett did it in 87. I think Bob Pratt was in 34 when he did it. They were both 21 and a bit.
You're a freak.
Johnson's got it, but he's got there quickly. He could be the next 1,000-goal man, I reckon. Good mark in the front. Gee, they're a footy team, aren't they? They've averaged 20 goals a match this year.
They're going to average 20 for this quarter unless the Saints start getting a centre bounce takeaway. This is scary.
Well, you talked about the 94, 95, 96 Herd. That's where he's at right now in 2000. He's matching his Brownlow year, the year that he won his 3rd consecutive best and fairest at the club.
And yet he doesn't believe he's playing in the same form at this stage. He thinks he's still improving.
It's a wobbly kick. It's behind. 11-4 to 3-3. Well, Peter Everett's a huge blow. Andy Collins wasn't giving much away, but he's on the bench.
Well, the Saints are saying that it's a jarred knee and they're iced it up and they're saying maybe he might come back on, but I would doubt very much whether he'll be back.
So even if he could get him up forward and just take Fletcher. Oh, keep that in, son. Got a hand to it. Well done. Well done, Carr. Even if you could get him up forward and just take Fletcher away from somebody and then Spider just to drift out into a pocket and perhaps push Hall and Lowe into the corridor and hopefully they can clunk a few for you.
Alessio lays it down. Little kick forward by Mercedes to the pocket. Big Monkey gets it out. Burke had to squeeze. It ricochets off Moorcock and Ramanowskis kicks another goal. Well, they can kick it from anywhere. Anywhere, anyway, they all count.
When things run for you, you can do anything you like, but when things run against you, as they have for most of the year for the Saints, I mean, Nathan Burke was stiff. He's gone for the most defensive kick he could think. He's hammered it hard and low at the boundary, caught the instep of the ankle, straight to Ramanowskis, who gets a toe on it and dribbles it through. You've got to be stiff, haven't you?
It's unbelievable. It was remarkable vision, wasn't it? Off Moorcroft, Burke doing the right thing, and Ramanowskis' toe poke.
Ramanowskis was as lucky as Burke was unlucky then.
But good sides make things happen, don't they?
Well, Jason Johnson, how'd you like to be picking the best 3 at the moment?
Well, he got moved out of the centre in the first quarter by Longy. Just stepped in there and said, hey, they've taken it away too much. I tell you what, he is clear cut. The best man on the ground in the second quarter.
He and Blumfield have both had 12 touches. The leading possession getters on the ground and Hurd 11.
Front spot, Lucas. He hasn't really had a sniff, has he? One good handball early. Delaney. Don't think he's had a kick, Lucas, to date. He hasn't. Just a couple of handballs.
Robert Harvey's been very quiet this quarter. He had 9 touches in the first quarter, only the 1 this quarter, and Blumfield's really doing a job on him.
They've been carved up in the middle this quarter, haven't they?
Was it centre-half back under the gun too when he got it?
And he's just backing himself, Blumfield, to beat him on his merits.
Thompson, second go. Hurd was clever in close. Jones's hand's good to Thompson. Wide to Platt. First real crack at it for Platt against Fletcher. Fletcher brings him to ground almost. Platt just stayed up, but then they're going to cough it up, I think. The toe poke forward to Alessio was clever. It came from Ramanauskas. Alessio, Lloyd against Wakeland. Long's at the back. He hasn't really been able to impose himself either. He's had so many good players around him, like Lucas has just been running straight past him.
How quick for a 6'5" man did Dustin Fletcher regain his feet? He got taken to ground because of his own tackle that he laid. He springboarded back up.
You talk about centre clearances. Remember, St Kilda won the first 5. Essendon have won the last 9.
Yeah, oh, mate,
straight.
they flogged them. Yeah.
It's now 9-7 in their favour.
Peckett caught up.
For as brave as the old monk is, he doesn't exactly jump off the deck in the middle. He just planes into him. He's very good at the boundary line throw-ins, very good at the around-the-ground bounce downs like this. The centre bounce, that's probably the weakness in his rucking at the moment. Now watch him, he just leans the body, forces that one forward.
50.
And he'll give a good account of himself again at the boundary line throw-ins. Have a look at the size of that human being. He's a monster. This is where he's good. He'll probably let me down now and get done, but he's just such a big man.
Alessio up the back, Long just waiting off. Tackle coming in, Hurd finding it, getting it out towards Moorcroft and Mercury. Mercury gets a little kick away. It'll be a mark. Peckett with a lot of courage there.
This is where the Saints have got to change direction occasionally. They're going to come out this side. Looks like Moyle on the run. Take him on, son.
Oh, good tackle.
Good
Ramanauskas.
But he found Harvey all right.
Good awareness, wasn't it? That's a big kick.
Hall just worked underneath. Blumfield and Alessio, who's playing a game, to Wellman, to Heffernan, to Mark Johnson. Now Lloyd wants it at the back, and so does Hurd. He bangs it down in towards the two of them, and it falls into the arms of Wakeland.
They both led away from the kicker, didn't they? Nobody gave the difference of the lead there and ran at the ball carrier.
Gee, Mark Johnson was good as a terrible kick by Zilla, and then Heffernan, the second man for the Bombers, stops, waits, props. He doesn't want to cough it up, pushes forward towards Lucas. He just runs away from him. He's having that sort of a night. But it's all happening around him, so it doesn't matter too much. 76-21. Well, the Saints are like they're in quagmire, aren't they? And the Bombers are on a very, very slick highway at the moment.
Well, they pinched a couple of early ones while the Bombers were still pulling off their tracksuit bottoms, I reckon.
Heffernan, Harvey, forced a handball, but he gets to Thompson at half-back. And then, well, that's ugly in the end.
Just that little hesitation. The first kick was coming and he thought, no, I can do more. And that's what gave the tackler that little opportunity.
Ramanauskas kicked that miracle goal and then winds it up to full forward. Lloyd goes early. No free kick given. Burke's at the back. Forced a kick and just kept it in. It was always going to be a hard one to read for the boundary umpire because it was floating, wasn't it? But it just dropped in.
The Saints have played over 20 minutes without a goal. 21st minute mark of the first quarter was their last goal.
How deep have they had it in this quarter? I can't remember them really attacking.
I was just about to say that. That time where I was calling Barry to come up and meet the ball, that's the only time I can remember them going inside 50.
Mercury. Well, he'll kick a goal, won't he? Might have just missed. He's in great form.
See, they're carving up at all the contests around the ground. It's just a one-way football at the moment.
Well, I've got to just get the blokes who know how to get the ball now in the middle. I know Harvey's there. He's been beaten at the moment this quarter. Got to get Berkey back in there. And they've just got to get their third, whoever they believe is their third best ball getter, underneath Damien Monkhorst.
Pickett's kick. Wakeland's taking a good one.
Change it up.
Harvey at centre half back.
Come out this side. Trust your ruckman.
He's got Monkey. It's a good kick. That's a great kick by Harvey to Monkhorst. And then Monkey just a little one to Platt, and good mark against Fletcher.
Now, he's not a bad kick, Platt. He's a good full forward in Tasmania. Struggled to hold a place at Richmond, but he can kick the ball. And I tell you what, do they need one here?
Very good on the lead. That's one of his strengths. And if he can start deep and lead at the ball coming towards him, he could be effective up forward, particularly now that Peter Everett is in doubt as to whether he will come back and be a part of this game.
Well, let's hope for his sake and the Saints and their supporters here that he can deliver here. This will give him a bit of confidence coming off the interchange. Hasn't played much footy for the Saints this year. Coming in from Richmond, coming back.
That's
Good
home.
kick. It was a different sort of a kick, wasn't it? It just hugged the line and just brought it back. A bit of a draw in golfing terms.
It was a kick of a bloke who knows his limitations. He knows that he's going to swing the ball right to left, and that's why he gave it all the opportunity. If it did that, it was still going to stay between the sticks.
It was a long time coming, that goal for the Saints, and all they can do now, because Essendon's opened up such a big break, all they can do is just chip away.
Burke in there, Harvey in there, Peckett.
Notice Blumfield next to Alessio. Blumfield himself has taken the ball out of the centre 3 times in this quarter. He's with Harvey. Harvey gets through, but only to Mark Johnson. Didn't cover the required. Clever kick, actually, to give Moorcroft a half volley, and then Moorcroft doesn't want to waste it. Kicks to Lloyd at full forward. Lloyd there with Wakeland. Oh, no. Bounced the wrong way. He's had 6 shots for goal, Lloyd, for 3-2 and 1 out of bounds.
He just he almost made a goal out of nothing. Just quickly looked around, he caught the ball, he just didn't get enough boot on it. Caught it a little bit off the ankle.
Just looked a bit mechanical there, Wakeland. Once he spoiled, he just kept the body facing up the ground, unable to turn back on the ball.
Aussie winds it up to Monkey, who goes early and takes a really good mark to Burke, to Moyle. Long the fancy himself here and out of play.
No need to pressure themselves like that. They're just trying to move it on so quickly. And Michael Long only the 1 possession. Be keen to get his hands on the ball.
Scotty Lucas only 2 handballs. There are a couple of forwards that can do a lot of damage on their own. Imagine if they start coming into the game.
Well, Lucas has kicked 6 a couple of times this year, and Long got 6 famous ones against the Crows, didn't he, late?
Yep, 5 in the 1 quarter, I think, wasn't it?
In the last one, they needed it. Now Hurd, left foot just to the space to set a half forward. Lloyd got a crawl bounce, Wakeland back. He's got it to Harvey, who's worked back into the game deep into the 2nd quarter. Takes them on, kicks to Hudson, good kick. Max will be away. Goes to centre half forward. Whirlman will fancy himself here. Yep. And then he's got Fletcher. Stops and props very effectively. Now Lucas will get a kick.
Oh, men everywhere out here.
Jason Johnson. Now he's got Blumfield short and he's got Hurd over the back. Hurd and Carr. Great mark.
Never going to miss that one, was he?
He was always in control of the contest, but the good thing was that the kick coming from Johnson was to his advantage. It was deep, and it was on the side that James Hurd wanted it. He always had position, just strong enough to hold off Matthew Carr there, take a strong mark, and he'll line up 45-degree angle from about 40 metres out. He'll kick.
It's a great shot. It gives you a real feel of what's going on, doesn't it, when you look at it that way? So Hurd, he's kicked a couple. That's a poor kick.
His last 2 kicks have both been poor and both way out to the right.
In fact, really poor, haven't they? They've been shabby.
Just didn't look like he kicked through that. It only just made the distance.
Well, you look at that bench. There'll be a couple of blokes desperate to have a run.
Well, there you go.
Barnes.
Carousella, Barnes.
He's been one of their best all year, Johnny Barnes, and hasn't even seen the ground yet.
Yep, they haven't even been on the deck. Harvey goes short to Austin Jones. That's a good spot up, Aussie. Well done.
Pickett did pretty well, but unfortunately for him, got to Solomon, to Henneman. There's a few blokes out there for Essendon you haven't seen for 15 minutes. You haven't had to, have you? The kick to centre half forward. Blumfield made a contest. Carr to Thompson. Now he's got Hudson and Burke. Burke probably can't get to Hudson now, and he goes wide. That's a good spot to Pickett. Now Platt goes. Hall wants it short. Pickett goes to Hall at centre half forward. Alessio gets back to fill a spot. Hall takes Whirlman on. Hayes gets involved. Henneman gets involved with Hall. And they hold it up for a ball up. Yeah, poor selection there by Pickett. He actually had Platt further afield. He doubled back on Fletcher, and he had about a 5 to 10 metre break on him. He should have just gone long to the goal square. Michael Long coming off, and Danny Jacobs coming on for his first run for the evening. Had 40 more possessions now, the Bombers overall. Alessio, Delaney couldn't take it with him. Masidi could, and then belts it to centre wing. Lloyd did really well. He just stood there, and his give to Hurd was good. Now he's got to go now. Then Hurd gets plenty on it to Moorcroft. Got him. He dropped that. What's the umpire paid here? Yeah, I thought he did. What's the umpire paid?
I think he's paid the mark. My initial reaction was that the ball hits the ground here. You can see Zilla trying to get back. He fumbles. That's hit the ground.
He hasn't given a signal there, the umpire.
He didn't call Mark all free kicks.
No.
He hedged his bets.
He
said he was going to get it anyway, so I'll give it to him. You can't do that.
Kicked his second. It's almost like he said, yeah, that was a good build-up. Good kick from Hurdy, that'll do.
I assume it's going to be marked, and I'll stick the whistle in the gob right now. And
you can just see he was going to mark it all the way down, and
unless he's paid it for that left hand that just barely touched the left-hand side of Moorcroft's face. Let's have a look at it from this angle. It's the only thing he could. There. Is that a free?
Jeez.
Is that a free?
It should have been play on.
Still trying to work out, did he pay the drop mark or was it for a free kick?
Mercury off for a spell.
Oh, Aussie, good throw.
To Thompson, to centre half forward, to Hall. The handball, Hayes read it best, but he can't get through the wall. Heffernan. Fletcher couldn't get a hand on it, but his presence was enough. Heffernan again. He's got Jason Johnson wide. He's got him. Gee, they work well from the back, don't they?
They're confident by foot.
Just a little push to Fletcher. And then he just gets it wide to Hardwick, who puts his hands up to get rid of the glare. Strolls away, short to Wellman. No sweat, is there? I mean, no fuss, no sweat. They get it almost to centre wing.
They just trust themselves, don't they?
That's a great kick and a good lead from Matthew Lloyd.
So Mercedes in the front of the screen there, just next to Lloyd. He's only had 5 possessions, yet they are just dominating in the centre.
It's a big kick from Lloyd to centre half forward. Who reads it best? Caracella's just come on. Harvey, I think, got a touch to it, which was important. Car away.
Good boy.
Nobody to kick to. That's his problem. That's why he's pulling up.
Takes on Johnson, a bounce, and then kicks to the line. Trianides and Heffernan. Heffernan runs in front, then Trianides, free kick. It's going to Trianides.
Is it? Gee, I thought he went the other way there for a second. And look, I don't think that was a free either. Let's have a look. He goes to fend him off. He holds on. Yeah, rather get pushed off the ball. He holds on. Yeah. Okay. So well, he's got to wait for Stewie Lowe to get back if he's going to just bomb it.
Kicks it on the lead to Hall. Good kick in the end, and Hall found the spot.
It was almost like when Stewie got back, they thought, yeah, he will bomb it now, and Hall came up the middle. No real problem. And good kick, Trianides. He's turned it over a little bit too much this year, but that was a good spot up.
6 last week, a goal in the opening term. When you play the bomb,
coming off for a spell and Barnard on.
He won't like that, Gary Moorcroft.
When you play the Bombers, every time you get to here, you've got to kick a goal, don't you?
Absolutely.
Just don't get too many chances.
That's
good kick off the boot. That's a very good kick. So Clapp and Hall have delivered. And the two big boys have kicked 50-50 goals, haven't they, from out there?
The tough thing is, Bruce, in the last 5 minutes or so, they've kicked a couple of goals, but all it's done is maintain that 8 or 9 goal break Essendon has, and you just don't see how they're going to chip away at that break and reduce it.
It's a good kick. It's a strong, long drop punt. So he's got a couple, Barry.
Got to say, Barry Hall on the lead then. From the time he left the goal square to lead up, Wellman never touched him. No body contact whatsoever. We'll get it back up if we can in a second.
Blumfield got it to Alessio, and then Monkey pushed it forward to Harvey. 50 out, little kick to the pocket, Plapp underneath. Trianides with pace, and Heffernan boundary throw in.
It wasn't a great kick, that one from Robert Harvey. Might have been better having a ping at goals from there.
Watch this here. Watch Wellman, and he is Hall's opponent. There is no body contact there, and Sean Wellman has moved away from body contact this year and just chases his opponent out. Leads him all the way to the ball without being touched. You just can't do that as a key defender.
Low to Thompson, then tries to fend off, not all that effectively. Blumfield's with him, then he gets it out to Harvey, and again he stands up in the tackle to Trianides. That's a good kick.
That's home. Got to be. You called it well there, Bruce.
It's a really clever kick.
You sometimes wonder
and Harvey,
how Robert Harvey gets the handballs away under pressure. He looks like he's tackled, And even though he's cleanly tackled, he still gets the arms free. Have a look at this when it eventually breaks out. Robert Harvey comes away with it. He is claimed, and claimed solidly, but he reaches, gets the arms clear, reaches over the top, delivers the handball to the target, and Trinity's a clever kick.
He just rarely gets dumped, Harvey. I mean, when you get the ground level shots, look at the size of that bloke, the thickness through the back, and when you get the size of his thighs, 17 possessions already, people don't realise just how physically strong he is. Jason Johnson, speaking of strength, able to get a kick away. He's got a bit of it.
Barnard belts forward, 2 centre-half on Lloyd, brilliant. To Carousella, who'll stroll in and kick a goal. There have been times tonight where they have kicked some of the easiest goals you've seen in a long time.
And that's one of the reasons why Matthew Lloyd is a complete player. He's not just a goal kicker. He's always attacking the contest, and he creates goals for others. And this is just getting quick hands out and knowing that there's going to be a player in the right position. He plays in front all the time, delivers the quick handball, and Carousella runs into an open goal. Wasn't a terrific kick.
No, he even fell over.
Bit of a turnover on it, but
as they say, you have to fall over to miss it. He fell over and he was that close, he still got it.
14-7 to 6-3. So the Saints have really only gone forward 3 or 4 times and managed 3 goals. And the Bombers, well, they have had a lot of traffic, haven't they? Mark Johnson to Barnard. Every time someone comes off the bench, they've got to make a mark for the Bombers at the moment to hold a spot and make sure that they show the coach big flies. Good mark.
That's a mark.
Speaking of coming off the bench, that's Jacobs
surely
to Lucas, who hooks. I thought Jacobs took the mark.
See, I thought it was a good mark. Unusual role for Barnard, playing up forward as he's come on. Here's the pack. He's got a clean hand on that and taken it at the second grab, and cannot for the life of himself work out why he didn't get it. Not
only did he get a clean grab on it, no one else touched it. Sometimes you have to contend with other people actually laying a mitt on it. Not the case.
Short to Berkey.
And this is where the Saints are getting bottled up. They've got to go straight down the line, and Essendon got enough players. Now this is good. They start to chop it around and change it, but do they have players who've worked out hard enough forward of Blake now? No, the Bombers sit out, so they've got to go back again. Now they've got something unfolding for them. Just got to take the risks sometimes. And this is where the half-forward line needs to come up at you once it starts moving freely.
So Thompson got it from Beetham and gave it to Hudson, who kicks to centre-half forward. Fletcher belts away. Alessio gets it from Wellman. Sweeping handball by Solomon to Hurd. Playing deep. He's got a couple of options. Cuts back inside Platt. And then long and strong to Johnson. Oh, good mark.
That could be 50.
Little gift to Mercedes.
That could be 50 Andes.
I reckon that is a pure, legitimate attempt to spoil it. He's not a vicious man. We know that about Stewie Lowe. Open hands, trying to swat the ball. And he was in the contest. Make no mistake. Let's have another look.
Then he's come.
I've got to tell you
we don't want to have another look at that one.
Let's not have another look. Cheapness. Well, he did me then.
Have a look at Damien Hardwick and Nathan Burke having a few words. But the one thing Essendon don't want to do in this situation is have the free kick reversed. They've just got to back away.
Gee, I thought he tried to swat it away there, and I've got to... I better shut up on that.
It did not look good on replay, unfortunately. But you did say you wanted to see the big fella knock them over and show some aggression earlier, Derm.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Indeed.
Oh, he's got the blood rule. He is bleeding from the nose, I would suggest. That is a rather nasty one. Have a look at the blood coming out of his face.
Nah, don't worry about the claret. It always makes it look a little bit worse than it really is, Jace.
What a quarter of football he's played, Jason Johnson.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, he was chopped up a bit in the first quarter, and here we find him.
15 possessions and 2 goals.
So Lloyd had the
Stuart Lowe coming straight off. He's I suggest that's blood rule as well. He has blood all over his...
I think that's part of the Aboriginal flag that's out on the ground tonight when he landed chest first.
Tim Watson saying we can't give away 50s, Dermot.
So Mercedes gets the kick in the end. Oh. Funny old kick off the boot, but he's goal. Pretty sure that equals Essendon's best ever second quarter against the Saints. They've kicked 9 goals, 5. They've never done better than that, I don't think, in their history against the Saints in 100 years. That's a belt, isn't it?
That is solid contact. But a good mark. He was very courageous there, Jason Johnson. He knew they were coming in at him from both sides.
Gets up quick too. Well done, son.
Oh,
wow.
That dropped him.
Yeah. That'll smart, somewhat.
So back in the centre.
Sheeds would love that stuff, make no mistake. He'd love it.
Monkey went first, Alessio. Lenny Hayes to Moyle, belts to centre half forward. Hall's got a chance here. Wellman, Hall made a good contest of it.
Stiff not to get a free kick, Barry Hall. Oh, numbers everywhere out here.
Hardwick, Ramanauskas heard. Wide.
Blumfield short if he wants him.
There's the other Johnson. Mark, who's so good himself, to Blumfield. 60 metres out. Henneman provided the shepherd. Lloyd's big fly. Jacobs there. Carasella's at the back. Carasella comes back. One-on-one here, and Aussie's taken a pretty clever mark in the end. It wasn't a great kick.
Thought Blumfield took the wrong option. He could have run inside 50 and had a shot.
Goes to Moyle. Thompson on the go through.
To centre half forward. Now Fletcher's read it best.
Bad kick. What's St.Kilda are doing? They're playing 4 men in their forward line, so you assume the other 2 are pushing up into the middle, and you'd think that Essendon have the numbers against them in their forward line, but every time they move the ball forward, you just think, oh, Essendon got spare men there as well. So they've got, almost look like they've got an extra man in every part of the ground.
Ramanauskas still one-on-one. Hayes and Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson used his body well, and then clever touch to Blumfield. Could have given it. Decides to go with a little one to Carasella at full forward. Lloyd stayed down. Jones working towards the pocket. Thompson to provide a shepherd. Aussie with that range that he's got. That's a good kick to Harvey. Harvey at half-back. He's got no one really and kicks along the line. And that's how hungry they are. Hardwick made sure that he belted it away. And they have equalled their best second quarter ever. It was in round 17, 1989. They kicked 9-5 against the Saints. They've done it again here. They've got a 15 first half going. They've averaged 20 goals, 13 in every match they've played. But at the moment, they're on target for a 30-goal match. Ian Collins will be joining us at half-time. We've got plenty to talk about on Talking Footy on Monday night. And at half-time, 15-8 to 6-3. So the Bombers on their way again here, going for a 12th consecutive victory at the start of the season to put themselves in elite company. Carr's first kick out, and Beetham's got it.
Stewie Lowe back in the ruck, and Big Monkey sitting on the bench for the start of the third quarter.
Beetham gets around Hardwick, and Pap's got it, probably just outside his range there. No one's on the mark. Well, someone's on the mark, but no one at full forward. Bangs it awkwardly to Hall. Hall's with the chance. Little give. Trinides. Handball back. Jones. Oh, wild handball in the end. It was a contest, and I reckon the Bombers might get away. Alessio keeps pushing forward. Solomon tried with one hand. Carasella did well. That's a bad result for the Saints, and Hardwick belts it away to centre wing. Lloyd has played pretty deep often tonight. Clever kick. Well done to Masiti. Hurd wants it short. Carasella's loose. Masiti gets to the pocket and then kicks to full forward. Moorcroft front spot. Hooked out of it. Gets a free kick.
Oh, well, that's a shame, because way down the other end, there's a time to cut your losses as a forward and recognise that the opportunity to snap a goal is not going to get any better, and you've got to take that. And if you don't, it runs to the other end of the ground. Gary Moorcroft gets in front of it and makes sure the umpire sees every bit of that grab from behind.
Threw his body very well. It was a definite free kick, though.
Yep.
Well, he's going for a third goal. He's been battling, hasn't he, as we look at the angle, to really hold his place, and he's hooked it badly for a behind. A goal in each of the first 2 quarters to Moorcroft. Saw him kick an unbelievable goal in Brisbane this year when he kicked 4. There's the Saints bench.
And you'll see that Spider Everett is not out, so the news is not good.
That's not good, is it?
Let's have a look at what's ahead of Hackett.
Here comes Spider along the boundary. He's got the full tracksuit on, and
just going to, isn't he?
Yeah, it doesn't look like he'll be taking any part in this game.
He's just about the one bloke that you said, who can't they afford to lose tonight? It'd be just about him, wouldn't it?
Harvey running into form, or Spider Everett. Yep.
So after a good start, Stuart Lowe's gone very quiet as well.
Knowles, Thompson, so they've had the boundary here to get it to centre wing, and Thompson gets away and then kicks to half forward. Barry Hall says, well, look, I was out here, and he kicked it straight to Wellman.
Was a poor delivery there from Thompson. Barry Hall did make the initial run out wide, and he just went to where Hall had come from.
That's a good kick. Johnson to Lloyd, who's had a lot of it. to Barnard, up and under a bit to centre half forward. Hard ball to Mark. Lowe's got it. Sweeping at the back, kicks to Peckett.
The Bombers fans are into him after the Jason Johnson clash late in the second quarter.
Well, they'll be there with him for the rest of the night. They won't forget, will they?
No doubt. Well, they're very unforgiving, the Bombers fans.
Delaney to Lowe.
There it is.
Yeah, you've called it there.
Do you hear much of it when you're playing?
Yes, you do. Surprisingly, people say you block it out. No, you hear every bit of it in that type of mass voice. That's a good mark by Wakeland coming down the ground.
Back to Knowles. Had to stop prop. Trianides. Good attack by Trianides on it. Mercuri's handball perfectly weighted. Lloyd, as I said, playing deep on his wrong side. Carosello, I should say. Good stretch, wasn't it? The vertical leap was pretty impressive there. Alessio's out wide. He pushes to Barnard, who can go on here. The angle's tight.
He's got Blumfield inside if he wants him.
And hooks it cleverly across and finds that man you were talking about, Blumfield.
That was a very good kick. He wasted one coming forward just a couple of moments ago, Paul Barnard. He bombed it high when he had Moorcroft on the lead. But this time it was a tight angle. He could have had a ping. He would have been entitled to have a shot, but he just played the percentages because Justin Blumfield had made good space.
Good penetration on that kick.
He kept it low. He didn't bomb it too high and give Stuart Lowe any time to get there and spoil. 15
disposals there for Justin Blumfield, and he's shown he's a pretty accurate kick from a set shot. A little bit of a hook right to left on his normal kicking action. And that one goes dead straight.
No stopping them, is there?
There will be no stopping them, absolutely. Look, really, in literal terms, what's the margin now? 61, 66 points. If the Saints finish this game with a loss of less than 66 points, they've done exceptionally well.
Well, the only thing is, Derm, I mean, after looking at what they've done over the last month, they have improved. Yep. We know they've had 3 losses and a win, but they've built their percentage up. They can undo all the good work with a demoralising loss here.
The Saints have been credible losers apart from last week's win all month, but in all those credible losses, they've been in the game up until the last 15 minutes. This will test them being blown out of the water early in the game.
Mark Johnson gets it from Lowe to Solomon. Solomon hooks it back cleverly, and Alessio found it. It was a good mark.
If he gets back quickly, there's a lot of space for Lloyd to run up into.
And Moorcroft's on his own out here. Now, it's not a good kick in the end. Moorcroft, Delaney. Moorcroft chases hard. Carosella. He hooks it back cleverly to Carosella, who thought about going on, didn't he, and decided, well, I'm probably within my range.
This is just about his range. I reckon when you talk of that range, just about of any player in the league, I'm a big rep for this bloke and his set shot ability. Probably doesn't move through the ball quite quickly enough, and when he gets out of that range, Jason, he actually jerks at it a bit on the kick, but he's a beautiful set shot.
About 45 metres out, 60-degree angle, pretty tight. Kicked it really well, very well indeed. Well, we're seeing the full range of talent here tonight, aren't we? From the bottom to the top, and their bottom is really good. I mean, when I say bottom, I'm talking about the Carosellas and these people. And that's a good bottom.
Well, I don't know if he'll be too happy to hear that, Bruce, but it's funny, some of the players that they've had on the bench tonight, and Carosella spent time on the bench, he's been very quiet, but they just have so many strengths. I mean, if 4 or 5 players are down, there's double that number ready to take up the slack.
Well, he can only look on now, really. 17-9 to 6-3. Do you reckon Barnesy will get a run? He hasn't been out there all night, has he?
I forgot about Barnesy down there. I reckon you'd want Alessio to play himself into form a bit.
Well, he's doing that. Mercuri over the top.
One way or the other, he's going to have hungry ruckman.
Jones was good to Lowe, who's wasted it a bit. They'll love that, the Bomber fans. Fletcher. Great kick to Johnson on his left foot. Sensational kick. Johnson run down by Thompson, but he gets it to Barnard. They're so clean and confident. Solomon, look at this, on the burst now. Cook gets a little wobbly floater. And Stewie's got to look everywhere for it. Hurd goes hard at it. Can't quite. Blake, little kick, well done. Gets it to Peckett. Over the top to Davis.
Look out.
And then kicks to Trianides and Platt front spot. Trianides a chance here. Fletcher's quick.
Look at the pace.
How quick is Fletcher? Thompson got an awkward one. And Mark Johnson read it well. And then kicks it to Solomon. And now they'll burst. It was a bad kick the last time.
Oh, that's not much better.
Another floater. Two poor results from Solomon, to be truthful.
Unlucky not to get the free there, Gary Moorcroft.
Delaney, Knowles, Zilla, Delaney, Lowe.
You've called that one, Bruce.
Barry Hall.
Come up and meet the ball carrier. They run sideways, the Saints, so Harvey has to go sideways. Nothing ahead of them. Trianides just 20 metres out from goal, and nothing demanding the ball further ahead, so they go sideways again, and then the long bomb.
Trianides their target there. With him is Heffernan. Mercury belts back. Davis. Still with Davis. Good shepherding by Burke. Davis at 50. That's a good kick. Across the forward. Well, I thought it was. Jacobs was terrific.
It still was a good kick. It was his best option. He made the best of it that he could.
Fletcher back to Mercedes. And then Mercedes to Hurd.
That's just the state of play. It was his best option, and he made the best effort that he possibly could.
Mercury taps it on. Finds Barnard. Back to Mercury. They're working so well together. Back again. There's Jacobs, that patch that we've talked about a bit tonight. That long patch, poor kick, and Harvey's onto it at half-back. He's got Burke very wide laterally. He'll go there now.
This is where the blokes further up the field have to start running at the ball carrier. If you get it out on the break there, then you've got to charge up at him. Now Barry Hall's on the lead. Come on, Zilla, look at him, look at him. I'm getting frustrated here. Just seeing the way they come at them.
Delaney got it from Zilla and floats one, gets over Plapp's head. Bad bounce there for Carr at the back. And Mercury to Mark Johnson, who's got a couple short. Lloyd will go and get it. Still with Lloyd. Brings it back inboard to Lucas, who hasn't had a shot for goal all night. He will now from 55. Unloads a big, long, hard one and just misses.
She's got some range on that left leg. But Matthew Lloyd working very hard up the ground, and there can't be much more demoralising sight for St Kilda than watching the opposition full forward having a couple of bounces up on the wing.
That was his second point, Lucas, so he has had a shot before, but he's had only 3 kicks.
Tipping with low possessions tonight. If he gets it in his hand, he'll have the blinkers on.
Harvey. Oh, Mercury's cut it off. Still Mercury. Kept down low. High tackle, free kick. Brings it back to Jacobs. Or Lucas. Thompson. Good tackle, Jacobs. Ball up.
He's had plenty of it, Robert Harvey. He's had 21 possessions now. He's really starting to amass them by considerable numbers, but that wasn't a great kick, that one. He just needs perhaps sometimes to kick a bit longer.
Right on 50. Low uses strength, but Alessio can match him there. Hurt tries to squeeze it out, and he gets it back somehow, and then forces forward to 20 metres from goal, and Lloyd takes another very good mark.
Well, he did it once earlier with the right arm. This time he's done it with the left arm. He's just held his opponent off on one side and hugged it to the chest with the other. He's going to get better every week, this bloke. I mean, he just doesn't have any weaknesses.
He's actually turned into a very strong bloke, isn't he? Very strong man. Watch this. He holds onto the arm here and then drags Wakeland forward with him, hoping to get 50. And the umpire, well aware for that one. And, yep, Wakeland said, mate, he's dragged me down. Good umpire.
Interesting thing in that, Mark, is normally when you're fighting one-on-one like that and you try to mark the ball one arm, you stay on the ground.
Yeah,
he's leapt up and a decent leap and took it.
He's had a lot of it. 12 kicks for full forward, and he's going for a 4th goal here. Right in front. And he's kicked 4.
You'd have to say that Wakeland hasn't been disgraced either. He's had a real dip on him. I mean, he's got great supply, and he's got 4. He's had a few shots of it.
Just have a look at the way he leaps when he marks this one-handed. It is unbelievable. The ball, well done by James Hurd. He stole that and kicked it forward. And then that's just an amazing piece of play. Look at the leap. He just springs.
So 4 goals to Lloyd, 56 for the season, so he's on his way, isn't he?
He's home, Bruce.
18-10 to 6-3.
You ought to give him that trophy.
The Coleman medal?
Yeah, give it to him now.
And the 100 maybe. Still, there's a lot of footy to be played this year. Carr and a ball up. 18-10 to 6-3. So the margin is getting towards 100 points. Michael Long, who's only had the one possession. So he's just having a spell. Came off in the second quarter. Burke pulls Mercury down, and Mercury's got the free kick. Seen a couple of classic Mercury plays tonight. That one in the slow motion at left forward pocket in the second quarter. Good mark front spot, Thompson to Zilla. And then Zilla squeezes wide to Davis, runs onto it and takes it. Davis on, and then kicks to half forward now. Hall versus Wellman. He got rid of him, Hall. Fairly, says the umpire. Ramanauskas towards the line. Boundary throw-in.
It's just that sort of situation now in the game where St Kilda have to look to take something out of it. I mean, obviously, the margin's going to be big, but they've got to fight it right out. Otherwise, they'll lose by 20 goals. They just can't afford to do that. You've got to give some hope and take some momentum into next week.
Well, their scoring's been strangled, hasn't it? They're just finding it really hard to have scoring shots, let alone goals. They've had 9 scoring shots only.
Look, it's probably a good time now where Tim Watson can swap some players around in terms of positions. Maybe even try them in some unfamiliar positions and see if they can rise to the occasion and give them something, because they're not getting anything up forward at the moment, particularly at half forward.
Stewie Lowe pulls away from that ruck contest and stands next to Alessio.
So they work it forward, but the Bombers have been very good in this situation to clear it.
They've had just about every one of the takeaways from these hot congestion areas.
Heffernan to Carosella, they've done it again. He's got players running everywhere. Wants Hurd. Hurd backs himself in this situation, then scrambles after it with Carr, Barnard and Peckett, I should say, ball up.
And look at big Steve Alessio just waltz into the scene here. You've got an interesting question now. You've raised the point that Barnes hasn't been on the ground. Alessio, when everything's being fired against better opposition, he's probably your #1 ruckman. He hasn't had the form of Barnes this year. Do you keep playing Alessio into form, or do you give Barnes a rest for the evening, even though he's sitting on the bench? Interesting question for Sheets.
Heffernan gets it from Jacobs, and then wide. Now, Zilla will fancy himself here. Alessio's got to hold him up.
Good effort.
He's done well, the big fella.
He's done really well. And then tries to get a left-handed handball. Zilla's persisted too. Saints coming forward. Burke at between half forward and centre wing, and Fletcher's got it.
Ball kick.
Trianides off and Lenny Hayes comes on. Oh, you sneak up on him, mate, behind the umpire.
On the wing.
So Ramanauskas got it from Heffernan. Solomon, who's kicked the ball very badly the last twice he's gone forward, and that one's better off the boot. And Lloyd stretches really well to take the mark.
Matthew Lloyd just held his lead. He saw Solomon with space. He knew he was going to have a bounce, so he started to double back. And then after he'd had the bounce and steadied, he thought, I've found some space, now I can go. And that's a good kick from Dean Solomon, because he had a bit of trouble this quarter. A couple of his longer kicks were pretty ordinary. And that one found the mark.
You've got your way, Jace. Plapp goes from full forward to the back flank on Barnard now, and Carr goes to full forward.
You've just got to do something different, haven't you?
Just swapping them around, and it looks like Knowles is going to go and play on James Hurd.
48 metres out, hooking, and behind.
So Timmy Watson's probably going to have a look at it now, and yes, he'll say, yeah, what can I get out of this? Can I see anything that is not blatantly obvious? There's Barnesy, hasn't had a run yet. 8 minutes. Well, effectively, there's only 28 minutes of footy left of play time, that is. Look out.
Short, and the mark taken by Carosella.
Well, your best player, Robert Harvey, goes back to try and set something up from down back. He tries to pinpoint Stuart Lowe, and he hits an Essendon player in Blake Carosella.
The fact is, when you have a midfielder who goes back to the goal square to kick in, means you're light on for blokes who can kick in anyway. Peckett's pretty good at it, but you can't use him every time.
As James Hurd comes off for a spell.
Carosella from 40 metres. Is it coming back?
I don't think so. Not that one.
It's a behind.
James Hurd replaced by Aaron Henneman.
Well, they never got the chance to fire a shot out the Saints. I really thought tonight they wanted to use Monkhurst in the ruck and stretch the Essendon defence by having the 3 tall key players.
It's a shocking, sorry to Dermot, it's a shocking kick.
It's just about falling apart, isn't it?
Thompson, Peckett, cut off by Mercury, just behind Carosella. It was a hot one, though. Barnard pushes forward. Carosella's worked it in front.
There's no one on Lloyd.
And then a ball up.
There's still no one on Matthew Lloyd.
What do you reckon about the kick-ins? Is it just
you have to have
confidence or what?
Yeah, you just have to bite off a little bit more than you can chew on some occasions. You have to go for the near impossible one, but having said that, Austin Jones should not miss-kick one like that.
So centre-half forward, and just like the second quarter, the Saints just can't get it forward in the first 2/3 of this term. Kick by Beetham. And out of play. Have a look at this. Only 3 teams have ever won their first 13 games. We're talking 13 now. That's in the history. Collingwood in 29, Geelong and Melbourne in 53 and 56. So Collingwood, in fact, won 18, and the other 2, 13. So if they win tonight and then can beat the Kangaroos, they are in a very, very elite group. This will be their 12th consecutive win tonight.
Carr comes off the ground and Monkhurst goes on. So he's a kick behind play, Monkey. And here we have Lenny Hayes with the ball. There isn't much unfolding for him ahead either. That's what you can see. That's a great shot, that.
Barry
See the
Hall
bloke moving through the side, through the top of the seam. Barry Hall, 4-on-1. Well done, Harves.
Haven't scored at all, the Saints, for 25 minutes. Nothing at all.
The well's dry, isn't it?
Beetham. Lucas got a smother. Davis. Lucas again, a ball up.
Look, there's no doubt no one ever gives up. But they're just up against it, aren't they? And they just look inferior.
But they're the situations like that when the ball's scrambling around on the ground where you see the difference in Essendon when they have front position, get a clean purchase on the ball and deliver the handball, whereas St Kilda just can't quite get free of the pack.
Barry Hall down to Beetham, Masidi. What we're seeing is a huge gap between top and bottom, aren't we? I mean, we saw the Saints in the end beat Port by 10 goals last week.
Yeah.
So that's 16.
So you'd hate to stack Essendon against Port Power then, wouldn't you, Brew?
Well, we saw that in the opening game of the year here at Colonial, the second match of the round,
and that was before anybody realised who was in form and out of form.
Yep.
We found out that night.
Which counts for a lot. As we've talked about, teams go in runs, and if you get a team in a run, just about anybody can beat anybody else, except for those who are sadly out of form for the full journey. And that's Port Adelaide one way, and it is Essendon in the opposite direction the other way.
Caracella, Mercury to Hardwick.
That's a training drill.
Awkward kick, but Caracella's not paid. The umpire looked like he's going to pay it. Put his whistle up. Zilla banks to centre half forward. Well done, Fletcher. Harvey got a bit of a wicked bounce. Davis with a real chance. 50 metres out. It's coming back. Just missing. That's their first score for the quarter.
Had Berkey on. He elected to go long. Let's see if he taps it on the boot. He's going to go just about as long.
And that was a floating mongrel. Ramanauskas all on his own on the wing. Now, this is the sort of kick-out strategy that St Kilda just can't seem to manage.
Yeah. That just broke up their zone so easily,
all night, Essendon have released players up on the wing who get that second kick.
80-point margin.
Good mark. It was a good kick, and Blumfield made it. I think he was always his target. He was the running man. Masidi the target this time. Jones gets back. Still Masidi. Tries to break the tackle. Gets a bit of a handball away. Aussie's in there. Held up. Ball up.
Got to say one thing which is disappointing, even though, well, it's an 80-point margin. We know they're vastly inferior. But the thing is, there are a lot of Essendon players taking overhead marks in packs at the moment with little or no body contact on them as they jump. Barnard to Moorcroft. Just tries to get to Carousel at centre half forward. One hand in the end. Thompson. Jacobs was in there. Well done, Thompson. Gets it out to Delaney. Ramanauskas got a finger on it. Hall bearing down. Well done, Ramanauskas. Got it across to Wellman. Loads it up to centre half forward. Alessio makes a big fly. Well trapped by Lloyd. Back to Mercury. Back to Lucas. We know he can kick a long ball. High and wide. Mark Johnson underneath. Well done, Thompson. Belts it away.
That is a great score. It's amazing when you look at the Bombers. They seem to have numbers all around the ball, but whenever St Kilda clear the ball, there's more Bombers sweeping.
Yeah, good eyes on the ball. I reckon Scotty Lucas had a shot then.
Alessio down to Blumfield. Hook back was touched off the boot. Beetham has to kick in a hurry. Gets it outside 50. But Burke made a contest of it. Front spot was Solomon. Harvey over him. And the ball up. Well, I guess the one thing for the Saints is they kicked 6 in the first quarter, the Bombers, 9 in the second. They've only got 3 in this quarter. But there's not much else that's happened that's good for them, I can tell you.
It's 3 with no tide against them.
Hurd and Long sitting it out. It's a deep squad, isn't it?
They play down to 40, don't they?
Well, there seems to be no end to their talents. Davis bangs it away. Whirlman chasing hard. He wants the line probably. Barry Hall, well done. Peckett, Jacobs with those fresh legs to put the pressure on Peckett. Peckett works it in front. Whirlman's got him. Ball up.
As much as you say St Kilda try to take something out of the game by swapping players around, Essendon have the luxury now where they can rest some of their key players, and the players who spend a lot of time on the bench, as Alessio has in past weeks, they can now get more game time, and it just strengthens the whole process that the club's going through.
Hardwick, Lucas. Or I guess when you're winning every match like you are, it makes it maybe a little bit easier, but Kevin Chitty's man management this year's been terrific, hasn't he?
Yep.
Jacobs kicks wide, Blumfield, and off Henneman for a boundary throw-in.
Just had a look at their list.
Free kick, I think, to Blumfield for hanging on.
Have a look at the Dons list in front of me. Still got Berbatov, Denham, Eastor, who can play in the ruck if need.
Good mark.
Alex, Rioli. They've got all this endless list of blokes who can come in and be as good as any other player in any other league team.
You can add Pryor and Buick to that list.
Yeah.
That's a good mark, isn't it? By Lloyd. It was a Barnard. What do you reckon, Jason? He can go from here, can't he?
He's in range. He can comfortably kick the ball 55 metres with a drop punt. But just the way he attacks the ball, he took that at full pace. And he has very sure hands, particularly tonight. When he's in form, it's just unbelievable. Just parried the ball and
10 grabs. He's caught it pretty well, and he's jostled for a few of those under pressure, and there have been plenty of them.
Oh, that's a big kick, isn't it? Have a look at that. He's kicked 5. It's the 7th time, Jason, this year he's kicked 5 goals or better, and he's playing in his 12th match. That's a big return, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I mean, he has the sort of consistency that a coach dreams of. I mean, even when he's not dominating in the air and kicking bags of goals, he's always working hard and contributing, if not kicking them himself, trying to set them up. And he works hard to keep the ball in the forward line as well. I mean, he's the sort of player that a coach would just love to have in his side.
.86 margin. Their all-time record against the Saints is 120 points. That was in 1911.
They could give that a nudge.
They might get a sniff of that. I mean, with all due respect to the Saints, there's not much they can hurt them with at the moment.
I'll test you in a second, Bruce. I'll ask you what ground.
Hardwick, you know?
No.
Mercury.
Might have been down the railway yards.
To half-forward. A good grab by Knowles against Carosella.
I think they might have left that home ground by then.
Burke's got it in the heart of the centre to Hudson. Hudson to centre half. Or Barry Hall. Yeah, that was a good kick, wasn't it? Hall's kicked a couple tonight. He's kicked well the last couple of weeks. 6 last week, and hasn't missed tonight.
He'll have to kick this from probably a yard outside 50, so this is going to take a very good kick. He's going to have to match Matthew Lloyd's effort at the other end moments ago, but a good pass coming in from Thompson and a good mark to Hall. Unfortunately, hasn't got into the game as much as he did last week. 7
possessions there, Jason. 5 of them come from marks. So a little bit one-dimensional, but I suppose the supply hasn't been coming through.
Got up and under it a bit and pushed it in doing so, and it's a behind. So the second scoring shot in this term to the Saints. They've gone from 6-3 to 6-5. I think a lot of people came here tonight thinking that well, the Bombers would win, but it would be a real contest. That's a terrible kick by Fletcher, and Delaney's got it. And they get a goal late in this term. Kicks to centre half forward. They're all bearing down. In fact, Lucas was spoiled, and Thompson's come in and kicked the goal.
Well done by young Moyle. He just got crunched in the contest there, young Moyle, and he was able to just drop to the knees and regain the ball, Brett Moyle, and dish off to Thompson, who read the ball coming in. But here, he's trying to kick the cover off that one.
He was looking for Mercury up on the wing, and it would have needed to be about a 70-metre drop punt.
Watch the crunch here. Oh, he's missed the crunch. He's got his teammate there, Alessio. He's taken out his own teammate. Yeah, he's done well, though. Both of them.
33 minutes between goals 6 and 7, and there was 26 minutes between goals 3 and 4. Just how much they've dried up. After, remember, they kicked the first 2 goals and 3 of the first 5 goals of the match. Thompson's kicked to centre half forward, Ramanauskas. Moyle again getting involved. Hardwick, he's got Mark Johnson wide, and you'll find him at half-back. Well, there's no stopping the Bombers, Kevin Sheedy's team at the moment. And at three-quarter time, it's 126 to 47, 19-12 to 7-5. Well, Barnsley, we've been told, will get a run late. Alessio's taken full advantage of coming back tonight, and Michael Long has had a quiet one to Moorcroft. Moorcroft, well, he may go for this, and he has, and given it everything, and it's going to be close. It's a goal.
Touch and go on the free for Shepherd. It's home.
Well, that's the perfect start once again. We've seen them do that a few times down the middle, but it's a good work again from Matthew Lloyd. He basically just manhandled Darryl Wakeland on the goal line. You can see the handball didn't quite hit the target, but it sat up. He's had a good go. He got every bit of that. I would say that's just about his limit, and Matthew Lloyd doing a very good job on Darryl Wakeland on the goal line.
Good view here.
Just superior strength.
Just bouncing over. Well, it was pretty clear on the line. For the 8th time in 12 matches, they've kicked 20 goals in a game.
That is just
Bombers.
amazing.
Big haul.
Incredible firepower.
Long hungry for it. And Mercury almost taking a very clever mark. Delaney swishing it out. Barnard. Masiti goes in short. Lloyd's got it. He was almost going to go to Mark Johnson. There was an element of danger. I thought Mark Johnson can't believe it.
He's going, I've worked so hard to get down here and you've burnt me.
It's not a bad position for Lloyd to have a shot from there, though, is it?
No, look, it's on the right side for a left footer, and he's striking the ball pretty well tonight. Even though he's kicked 5-3, he has struck the ball particularly well.
Mark Johnson will be thinking the way we used to. You know, Dunstan will lead out and say, I'm not giving it off yet. I want to get to my 100 quicker, and then I'll give you a few easy ones. He knows that's what
Kick the goal, Matty.
Lloyd from 45 out. And I think he's missed it. So he's had a lot of shots. He's got 5. That's Mark Johnson.
He's a tough little player, isn't he?
So Jones to bring it in.
And Monkhurst comes out to the right-hand side of screen. It's not much on offer anywhere. He's going to go... Oh, who's his target? Knowles.
Just getting a hand there, Jacobs. Running out. The score 2013 at the moment is Essendon's average score for every match this year, 133 points, and that's what they're sitting on at the moment. The all-time record for any club in a season is Geelong in '92. They averaged 137 points in a match, so they are right there. They're going to go better tonight, so they're going to get very close to that target.
92, was it?
Yep.
Oh, that's the year they blitzed the Brisbane team as well, wasn't it? The all-time score.
Centering ball, Moorcroft, big fly, comes to ground. Just searching a bit, Blumfield, worried out of it. Blake coming through. Moorcroft, well, cleverly done to Lloyd. We had Mark Johnson over the top.
He's not giving him off.
It's kick 6.
He's got the blinkers on. Well, talk to us, Jason. Talk to us.
That was quite funny. He turned around and he thought, OK, I can kick the goal or I can handball over the top. And the St Kilda player just jockeyed in between the two of them, which is what you try to do. What you have to do here, if you're the defender, is try and put the person with the ball in two minds. Make him think that he's got to kick the ball quickly or handball over as you're doubling back. And in the end, Nathan Burke never actually came all the way at him, so he said, well, I'm clear. I'm 15 out directly in front. I've got as much chance of hitting the target by foot through the goals as I have hitting the teammate with a handball, so I'll kick the goal.
Do you believe that?
Well done, Matthew Lloyd.
Well, Monkey was a bit sloppy there, and Alessio's free kick.
He's burned him twice in 2 minutes.
He wants 50 here. Big Cess. He's crying out for the 50. He's put up his teammate there.
Harvey. Plappen Carr. Beetham wide, but poor kick. And Hardwick's got it. Players have really had trouble just being sure out there tonight, haven't they, on that patch. And then Long's penetrating kick to 50. Mercury was in the front spot. Lucas would love to get involved. Some strength there to kick it to the goal square. Lloyd nearly. Thompson. Ball still to be won. Barnard's going to kick another one. They've got 22. They're on a roll. They'll get a record. You reckon they're going to get a record here? They are just rolling, aren't they?
It's funny, you get to a stage where you think, oh, we're safe, we can just coast in. And then suddenly, once you get to about 25, 26 goals on the board, you instinctively think the magical 30. It's like the cricketer's double century. It really is. Getting 30 is like the double century. It's something you dig in a game for.
It's 98 points the margin now. So 22-13 to 7-5. Getting close to 100 points. And the free kick is to the Saints. Well, that's going to help. They started the match with this, didn't they? Remember, they got a goal. That seemed a long time ago.
It might have gone against Joe Mercedes. That one, he had a nasty look over at the umpire that paid it.
Monkhorst to centre half forward. Low front spot. Fletcher rode him at the back. Harvey working hard. Run down. Just gets his kick away. And Hall worked cleverly by Wellman. That was good play.
You didn't like it, Barry?
Carosella. Mark Johnson to Long.
There's not much of it, Longy.
He's had a few touches in this term, but he sat it out for a fair while, but had a slow start, didn't he? And
you know, it's amazing. We saw Robert Harvey get the ball a moment ago. He's had 27 touches, but you wouldn't say he's had much impact on the state of play at all.
I've got to say, look, there's a couple of occasions where he did turn it over.
He's worked hard, as he always does, but 27 touches, you just like to think you could have more influence on a game.
Never question his work ethic, that's for sure.
But at the end of the night, there's not one St Kilda player who's had any impact on the match at all, is there?
They have not won one position. Not one.
Hurd's having a good rest. Barnesy, well, he should be warming up. We're at the 6.5-minute mark.
Oh, Barnesy doesn't like too big a warm-up.
Low, front spot, Lucas, Jones. Lucas again, well done in the end. Finding a way, and then as he kept it in, it'll be a good kick if he has, and Mark Johnson's marked it.
Well done by Danny Jacobs too. He actually kept his opponent Carr off the marking teammate there.
That's a good kick to Mercedes.
Well, there's another one coming up here.
To Long. Burke did well. Well done, Berkey.
Well done.
To Monkey. Well, that's a free kick probably. Well, no, Ramanauskas might have hurt himself too. Davis getting it, and now can burst away. Peckett might be the target here wide. Fancying himself there was Solomon. He had the drop on him. Ramanauskas has picked himself up.
It's unfortunate there because Peckett just didn't know what to do as a forward there.
But in the end, I thought he created enough space, Dermot. The kick didn't favour him. He just had to wait for it. He still should have... Well, he should be lining up for goal right now if it was the right kick. John Barnes there, finally off the bench, and hopefully will be in action soon.
Well, Alessio just gets rid of Lowe. Davis, handball to Harvey, and Harvey's short one. Good mark by Lowe because he had to really stretch.
Now they've got plenty of time to get all the booze out of their system while he lines up for goal here after the incident with Jason Johnson earlier in the night. So you'll probably hear them really try and put him off while he's having a shot for goal here as Big Monkey comes off for a spell.
Hasn't been back on, I don't think, Jason Johnson, from that point.
No.
That's the cheer squad putting him off a bit. So Lowe, who kicked a goal in the opening quarter, started really well, Stuart, tonight. Good kick. That's a really good kick off the boot, so he's got two. Well done, Stu. (22-8). So Harvey again getting involved. No bags for Stewie this year, but he's kicked 21 goals and he's kicked goals in 11 of the 12 matches, but never really hasn't had a bag.
He's been pretty good, I reckon, Stewie, this season.
Damien Monkhorst, Jason Trianides, Peter Everett to the key injury tonight. 22-13 to 8-5. Burke gets it out of the centre and then goes hard to centre half forward. A couple of big flies, including Hardwick. Barry Hall with some strength.
Got the free here for over the shoulder.
Oh, and he wants to go at Damien Hardwick too.
As he pushed off, he got taken over the shoulder. Just keep it cool, Barry. You've got the pill.
You know what he does do here when he gets the ball, Barry Hall? He just says, I'm going to have a real red-hot go. If they want to tackle me here, they're going to have to do it hard. He just doesn't want to get grabbed. He gives him the best fend you've ever seen and a very fair one right in the middle of the chest, pushes him to ground, and Well, we know Damien Hardwick doesn't like getting pushed off like that, and he wants to come and remonstrate.
That's called the don't argue that fend.
Straight in front for a third goal. So he's kicked it straight too. I must have missed something. What did he get the free kick for?
When he fended off, Hardwick went to hold on and he just grabbed him high over the shoulder. Soft. Watch
just
here.
See, look for the hand come over the top of the head. There it is.
There you go.
That's
just
not
that
a free
came
kick.
Over the shoulder.
It's not a free kick.
I'm a big believer that rule should be like the kicking in danger rule. You should actually do something over the shoulder to not endanger, but it should be fairly vigorous before it's paid as a definite threat to somebody's safety.
Well, a very fortunate free kick to Hall, but he has kicked 3, and the Saints put 2 together. They haven't done that for a long time. Burke kicks to half forward.
Keep your feet.
Wellman belts it away, and Thompson runs it there with Hardwick, boundary throw in. So they're well inside the 100 points, the Saints. Saints haven't travelled so far this year. They've been in Melbourne every match. They've played, this is their 12th game, 10 of them at Colonial. They've got 4 interstate trips to come, 2 of them to Perth at the end of the year. So they probably the only team that hasn't travelled for the whole year. I haven't gone through them all, but you reckon they would be. Carousella. So it's not like they've taken advantage of the draw, is it?
No, if you haven't travelled by now, you've got a few up your sleeve. Well, you wouldn't call them up your sleeves.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Coming on, and Steve Alessio has a well-earned break. And listen to the roar from the Bombers faithful.
Now, he might give him a little bit of a spark here to hit that magical 30-goal margin.
And straight away in the play with the boundary throwing.
8 goals needed for 30 for the Bombers here. Can they do it?
Never really got a crack at it. Harvey, Burke getting a lot of kicks just in the last couple of months. Moorcroft clever, then bangs it to full forward. Lloyd with some pace. Wakeland with him, comes to the front. Barnesy trying to get involved. Wakeland to Burke. Clever kick, yeah. Do you reckon Barnesy knew at the start of the match what the plan was for him?
I think he probably would have been told.
Unless he's done something wrong and he thought his name was Lucas Herbert.
It's a blast from the past. Big fella, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's sat on the bench all for the whole game at Blighty's whim.
Seems such a long time ago. Blighty coaching.
Only last season.
Exactly. Moorcroft comes back in board, and Stuart Lowe's got it. That was just for practice over Lucas, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was to make him a better player. No, I should stop.
Up and under. You be careful with Blighty too, by the way. I've just remembered your history. Thompson.
Can't see Yatesy coming through the studio.
I was thinking of the age articles this year, not the belting. The kick to centre half forward. Delaney's got it, and he'll be paid. So the Saints good on them here. They've kicked 2 goals to 3 in this last quarter, and they've kicked the last 2 of the match.
Well, this is the time of the match where I'm sure Tim Watson and the match committee are keeping a keen eye on who's going to fight the game right out, who's going to show a little bit of intestinal fortitude, because let's face it, when you're on the bottom of the ladder or second bottom, a lot of these players would be playing for their future, and they need to show that under pressure and when the chips are down that they're prepared to have a red hot go.
Geez, holding that thing flat. If it spins, it'll spin slow.
Kicks from 50, good kick. He's kicked it all right.
Well done.
I mean, you look for anything at the end of the night. They've actually kicked straight for goal mostly. They've kicked some good goals tonight.
Actually kicked pretty well from inside that imaginary corridor, straight up and down from distance, from basically the centre of the ground. They've been pretty good on the set shots.
Harvey's up to 30 posies too after that one. We've talked a fair bit about his game, but it's a lot of possessions. (22-13 to 10-5). Can you believe that the Saints lead centre clearances 18 to 15?
It's amazing. You know, they were handsomely done in the second quarter when the game got blown apart.
Harvey
always gets the handball, doesn't it?
To Platt. Good run down on Moyle from Moorcroft. And then Mark Johnson with a spin that was terrific. A back turn. Now Barnesy might get involved. He does. Have a shot. They love him, don't they?
For a horrible moment there. We saw him a few weeks ago drop a sitter in the goal square on his chest. I thought he was going to run underneath that ball.
Yeah, so did I. He had to stretch back a long way. He's looking at the target, not the ball.
That's what he's had a lot of options to pass it off, but he was always going to have a shot, wasn't he?
Oh, drag him. Back to 80 points. Smoking Joe comes off a rest, and Aaron Henneman resumes.
Lloyd's had the virus late in the week, so they haven't taken any chances with him, have they? Hurt, I should say. And sat out most of the second half. Here's Barnesy again. The big fly, low.
And lays the tackle. Well done, Barnesy. Pick up, son.
Centre half forward, Delaney in there, ball up.
They have fought back well, though, St Kilda. It looked like it was going to be a 20-goal margin. All of a sudden, they've brought it back to 14 goals.
Well, James said they've actually got the...
I know it's not much, Dermot, but it is something.
Everything's relative, Dermot. But at least they've got the scoreboard ticking for themselves a little bit.
Yep.
Harvey again to Jones.
Oh, good kick.
His disposal's been good tonight, Ozzy, on most occasions.
Except from the kick-outs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Barry Hall.
That's 50.
Well, Barry was going this way and that way, and I guess Wellman thought, well, let's get the pressure on him and move forward a bit.
It actually worked in Barry Hall's favour that he had nothing to kick to. He was looking. He kept looking one way then the other, and there were no big targets. There were no key forwards leading towards him. But poor old Sean Wellman just crept over the line, and he has copped the umpire's rough.
Well, he's going to end up with 4 goals, you'd think, after 6 last week. Sort of salvaging something from the wreck, isn't he?
Look, he hasn't won his position, but it's something to hang your hat on if you kick 4.
Straight in front.
Got close. He's got it through. It's definitely something to hang your hat on. If you kick 4 goals, not a big possession getter this week. He's taken 7 marks, 11 possessions. So against Wellman, you wouldn't say he's won his position. Wellman's had 13 possessions, so at best you'd say he's break even. But when you look back at it at the end of the year, how you've gone 4 goals against your name, you say, I've done my job.
Yep.
Saints have won the quarter, 4 goals to 3-2 at this stage.
Those 2 blokes there and Alessio have all been valuable contributors.
Jason Johnson and James Hurd. So 146 to 71, almost back to half the score here. Blumfield, ball up. Do you think Hurdy had done enough early in the match if you'd drawn the line when he went off that he would have been in the Brownlow votes, thinking of the fact that he's made a rush?
I'd have to say, look, in a game like this, the game was won at half-time. That's the way I go with voting. Who did the damage when the game was there to be won? The rest of the stuff
in the end, he won't get a vote, will he? Because he's been on the interchange too long, hasn't he?
Well, he's just set himself up to give him 3, Bruce, so I wouldn't discount that.
Oh, I reckon he could earn a vote. He was the best man on the ground while they were winning it, while they set up the win.
Oh, we're going to get some weird votes tonight.
Yeah, you deserve them.
Fletcher got it from Wellman to Mercury. I wonder if the umpires will think the same way as you, David.
Probably
kick to
not.
Moorcroft.
I hope not, Bruce.
You haven't been on the same wavelength for 40 or 35 years or whatever you are. Lloyd, great kick. Wonderful stuff. Moorcroft's kick was a beauty. He's played well in the last quarter, Moorcroft.
That was an exceptional kick, that, because he knew that Matthew Lloyd, who originally had led to the other side, was doubling back and was going to come hard into that pocket. And look at the penetration on this kick. He keeps it low, and he just knows the spot that Matthew Lloyd's going to be in, and the ball arrives there right at the right time.
I wonder if we can revisit this moment at the end of the year. That is the current All-Australian full forward. The other All-Australian member they had last year from the Bombers was Mark Mercury. Only 2 last year. And at the end of the season, if they go through with one of the best win-loss ratios of all time...
About 15.
How many do you reckon they'll get in? 8?
Lloyd going for a 7th goal. Oh, has he missed? Jason, he's missed a few, hasn't he?
He has a couple of times, in particular on that occasion. He got too close to the man on the mark, and he's still stabbing at the ball a little bit. He's still stabbing a little bit. 6 goals, 5 is not the sort of return he'd want from 12 shots a goal, because he's kicked 1 out of bounds as well.
Fletcher. Well, he's the All-Australian fullback, you'd think, but Carosella's got it.
I reckon he could, look, you don't want to wish anybody, but he could stand out of the game right now and you'd still have to pick him for more than half the season.
We've all got short memories. Get to round 22, we might have forgotten.
Oh, yeah, and that's wrong.
Carousel, who's kicked a couple, he's been good. He was on the interchange for most of the first half. Tucked away. Good-looking kick. So he's got himself 3. Very hard to drop blokes that are, I mean, he's so good anyway, but he's on the borderline occasionally, isn't he?
Well, the best way to describe a bloke like Blake Carousella, he's their B list. He's their B team. He can go into the centre, he can play on the wing, and he'll kick you 3 or 4 goals up forward every second week. He just needs to make sure that he kicks at least 2 or 3 every week. And it's
a great thing, though, to have that much pressure on the players to perform, to kick their spots.
Bombers are within 3 points of their highest score this year. That was against Port Adelaide in the opening game.
So great hit, Barnesy.
To Blumfield, to centre half forward. Fly from Barnard. Moorcroft ripped off it by Clapp, and he'll get a free kick.
Just stuck it too long, didn't he?
I reckon the umpire was still debating, did I miss a high tackle there earlier? And as soon as he was held on for a couple of seconds too long, he said, I can even it up now. Well, no, that's probably okay, but then he dragged him to the ground.
He's got a habit of throwing his legs out forward.
He does it well, doesn't he?
And leaning back, a la Gary Buckenara, to make sure the umpire sees the free kick.
He kicked 4 against Brisbane, and then 2 the next week, and he hasn't played since. This for a 4th, and he's not going to kick it. It's a pretty average old kick, actually.
Well, he really leant back and just roosted that one pretty high. Didn't have a lot of positive feeling about it as he was going through the action.
23-16 to 11-5. 12 straight for the Bombers. Matching West Coast in 91. Within 1 of Melbourne and Geelong, who did it in the 50s, 56 and 53 respectively. And then you've got to go back to 1929 for a team to go beyond that. It's an amazing performance. 26 out of 28 now since they lost to the Saints last year in round 8.
Still need to kick another 3 goals to get the 100-point margin, the Bombers.
Fletcher, big fly.
That would have been spectacular.
Mercury back to Heffernan. Heffernan stretches him. Solomon back to Fletcher. Wide to Johnson. Good kick down the line to Jacobs. Can run on. Slippery patch to centre half forward. And Henneman was at the back. Long, Burke. Long got a high tackling on Burke. Burke was a bit stiff. Ball comes back to Henneman. Mercury did very well to take it. Then to the pocket. Can Lucas take a mark? Nearly in the pocket. Whips it back in the direction of Heffernan. Jones wants the line. Jacobs keeps it in. Well done. Hooks it back. Clever kick, front of the square. And then Carr finds the line.
Okay, I've come up with my list, guys, of candidates for the All-Australian team for the Bombers. Fletcher, Mercury, Hurd. Either of the Johnson brothers, they can either play well enough in the second half of the season to get a Guernsey. Hardwick, Lucas, Mercedes, and if Barnesy runs into the same form he did have for the first 6 weeks, he could even be a show in the ruck. They could get 9.
It's a big list. Wakeland to Peckett. Are you one of the selectors?
No.
Oh, well,
thank God.
We can throw that away then, Jason.
Thank God we get some donkeys in there if I was a selector.
Delaney to centre half forward. Oh, you are irreverent. Thompson's kick. Well, Fletcher's back on it.
Forward. If Barry Hall doesn't mark it, they've got nothing else up forward. Oh, Dustin, that's a shocker.
Swipe
if it sits, it'll still be okay.
He's gone.
Perfect, Fletcher. To Ramanauskas.
Oh, he's got Solomon free and he's missed him.
Blumfield, Lloyd.
They can still find Solomon.
Clever by Moorcroft. Mercury to run onto it. Solomon provides the shepherd, and Mercury strolls in, and they've kicked their highest score of the season, the Bombers.
He gobbles them.
Their biggest score for the year. In a year that they've kicked 20 goals on 8 occasions and have averaged 133 points.
A lot of trust there, wasn't there? When he saw Solomon in the viewfinder and he recognised, I will definitely become a shepherded player here. He just coasts. He recognises that there's no way the chaser is going to get to him.
And let's face it, the option that Solomon took was the right one. If you've got, who would you rather kick for goal, Mercury or Dean Solomon? But great, very clever work from Gary Moorcroft up on the wing. The one good thing about Moorcroft is he can create things. He makes things happen. He's imaginative. He knows normally to take the right option. And he just had to get it forward to the loose player.
Barnes and Lowe. Back to Beetham. Wide, Harvey has run his heart out, as always. Oh, well done, Harvey. To Jones. Still with Aussie. Hooking ball,
That's
good kick.
Super kick.
That's well done. He hasn't had it heaps, Jozzy, but he has used it, hasn't he?
16 possessions for him, 11 by foot. You would have to say, and Harvey 33, and just about 1 for 1 handball kick. There's only about half a dozen players in the league who could have spotted that ball up then with their wrong foot. And well done there, Thompson. 48-metre kick, splits the middle.
Well, again, they've missed very few set shots tonight, the Saints. Good for them that they have, because it would have been even worse. But they've kicked most of them. Yeah, Harvey, 33 posies. I mean, you couldn't squeeze him into the top 3, could you? But he's... Could you?
I don't think I will be.
Oh, I think you'd struggle to find a St Kilda player in the vote in the top 5 tonight.
Yeah, fair enough. So 2 to Thompson, 2 goals that is. And this has been their most productive quarter. They've kicked 5 goals without a miss, the Saints, in this last quarter. 5-5 to the Bombers. So I wonder if the Saints could win the last term. McCurry, Beetham, wide to half forward, Burke, Fletcher, free kick going to Burke, is it? Yep.
Well, he's not going to kick one from out here.
Why not?
Well, I can't kick over a jam 10, Jason, that's why.
That's a bit harsh. I'd love to see Nathan go back and just drill this through now.
I'd love to see him too.
Have a shot.
He won't get the ride.
Burke's kick.
Oh, get there.
No, it won't.
Low front spot. It's going to be paid, I think.
That was close.
Oh, you're clutching at straws. Oh, if only we had the camera on Dunstall here. He's wincing as he's speaking.
Well, he's getting the big boos after the Jason Johnson incident. Ironically, Matthew Carr's the man who's been reported tonight, and they've forgotten about him completely. This was just a little squeeze, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, will he run out and kick it around the corner? He does.
Yeah, well done.
He's kicked 3. Lowe's got 3. And the Saints have kicked 6 goals in the last quarter, and the Bombers have kicked 4 goals, 5.
Too long between drinks, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, he looked long, and
make that 5-5.
there just wasn't the space. It was a good lead coming from Barry Hall, but in the end, he kicked it long. And that's a sensible option. When you've got Stuart Lowe 1 out, why not kick it long?
Yep.
And he didn't let him down.
So it's 5-5 to 6 goals. So it's going to be a battle royale to see who wins the final term here.
Once again, you saw that. It was Fletcher caught behind them, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, he got caught in front and then had to run back, and he went straight past him.
Against the real big blokes, he just occasionally gets done in the one-on-one battle.
And all of a sudden, St Kilda have become dominant in the centre square again.
Delaney's kick, got it to Hayes, I should say, and then to 50. Just looking forward to the Bombers play the Kangaroos. It was going to be a Colonial on Saturday night. It's been changed to the MCG on the Sunday. I'm just about absolutely certain it is. So MCG on Sunday, the Bombers and the Kangaroos next Sunday after having it transferred from Colonial, which is a good move because you'd expect 70,000 there, wouldn't you?
Yep.
In a half-decent day. Lowe's kick. Moorcroft has to sit, wait, and he's got it.
Oh, players everywhere out this side.
Wellman.
Got Michael Long up on the wing all on his own.
Solomon found it. It was a good kick. Henneman's loose, and so's Barnard. He'll try and push off, give Henneman the run. Carr with him. Well done, Carr. Henneman back to Barnard, and it's a behind.
Kicked it like a defender. Just rushed it, stabbed at it.
You played with him at Hawthorn. He's really made the most of his career in the last 3 seasons, hasn't he?
He has. I mean, Kevin Sheedy's given him some great opportunities at Essendon, and he certainly grasped them. He's become a very aggressive and attacking defender for them. Jones,
piercing kick. Fletcher loves that. Doesn't need to lay back and sit off and then go bang. Comes back to Lowe. Threw it away, actually. Beetham looked a bit of a throw as well. Well done, Hayes. Gets through. Banks it to centre half forward. Thompson. Can they get it on quickly? Harvey's running hard.
Oh, he's got Moyle. No, it's Davis.
Davis wide. Harvey hasn't gone out there with him.
That's stiff.
Yeah, it wasn't a great kick, was it?
Jacob, get back far enough from the man on the mark.
To Barnard. They are everywhere, aren't they? The Bombers, they play deep.
Well, Barnes coming with a head of steam. If he can get the next one.
Well done, the Saints there. They just force it away through Moyle.
Understandably so, but they're just playing a touch lazy at the moment. The Bombers, they know they're going to win. They're not going to hit that 30 goals.
They've put the cue in the rack, haven't they?
Oh, don't worry about that. Barnesy, he's still got Yippee Beans going through him, but there we go.
So Knowles hooks it to centre half forward. Ramanauskas quickly on to Barnard. Long's on the burst. Got him. And Long will turn around. Lloyd's running hard for him now. And Long's going to kick it to Lloyd. Well done in the front by Hudson. Blumfield, Lloyd still. Oh, gee, that was clever. Gets it back. And Blumfield goes in and kicks.
That is brilliant.
What about Lloyd?
Just stopped and let the traffic go past, didn't he?
Sensational footy, it really is. Blumfield's kicked 3.
The two of them just combine very, very well. This will be great to have a look at. You can see the original handball coming out from Blumfield, and he just held it up, gave Blumfield time to find his feet again after the original tackle, and he just calmly slots it through on the left. 23 touches and 3 goals, been very, very good, Justin Blumfield.
25-18 to 13-5.
Matthew Lloyd's now had 24 possessions and 13 marks.
That is big stats for a full forward.
That's
Hudgson's on him now, and I think Hudgson's probably been the best of the defenders.
Harvey got it to Delaney, and then Burke had a bit of an airy. Mercury on it from Barnard to Mark Johnson. They're not bad, those Johnsons, are they?
Oh,
Henneman.
I rate them exceptionally highly. I like that Mark Johnson, Mr. Sunbury. He goes around all right too. And the big hanger coming up.
Lucas, who hasn't kicked a goal. Platt gets it back.
Yeah, Hutchinson played on him for 3 quarters and did exceptionally well. He's a good matchup for him. Tall enough to go with him in the air, and foot skills are good enough to go around with him.
Fletcher again.
Oh, Aussie's copped one there.
Yep. Just protected himself with the foot up, Dustin, when he took the mark, and I think Aussie got one in the Jats Crackers.
Kick by Solomon to Jacobs. He's got a couple of options here. Goes across the ground to Barnard, using the run of Wellman. Lloyd on the burst. Hudson with him, well done. Now Carosella hooking back. Needed the right bounce.
Now that's what you do when you're 15 goals up. You try and kick it from the impossible spot instead of.
Got a little pearl for you. Got a little pearl for you. Look up there, the top of the screen, the blonde lady. She's doing the makeup on the last Matthew Lloyd goal there. The Bombers behind the goal. They're doing the makeup. How arrogant is that? Not even bothering to cheer now.
Getting ready to celebrate.
Getting ready to go out.
Boundary throw-in again. Left forward pocket.
And there they are. They're happy now, right in the St. Kilda faces. Oh, no, that's a Saint supporter, is it? I'm out of here, he says.
He just took a dare, I think.
Low front spot, Barnes at the back, low. Long came across him courageously. Wakeland gets it back. Beetham's kicking outside 50.
4 on 1.
Fletcher in the end gets a free kick. The advantage given to Mark Johnson. Little one to Moorcroft. Will fancy himself from here, but he's missed it. Can Lloyd take a mark? No.
Pulled them all left, hasn't he, tonight?
He's had 6 shots for goal for 3 goals.
He's actually kicking off the instep a bit. And this kid, I reckon he's got very good foot skills. I've still only seen him on a couple of occasions beat them, but he kicks it pretty well. Nice action.
And straight to the opposition.
Poor direction.
Well, that's 50 if he doesn't go back.
Fletcher's taken 9 marks. This will be his 21st kick. Wobbles to centre half forward. Can Lloyd take one? Low. Carosella's read it best. Quickly onto the boot, and he misses. So they've been a little bit untidy, haven't they? But gee, it's hard to knock them.
As you say too, blokes like Blake Carosella, who... Oh, hang on, there's a free kick coming back here to the original contest through the air, is it?
So
no, it's a point.
It's a point.
Yep. Yeah, Blake Carosella, as you say, he's like that, the underside of the Essendon team. He's the B grade of that team because they've just got so many star champions, and he has to turn that 3 goals into 4 goals. And my God, when he gets the opportunity, if he can make it 5, they last a long time in the memory of the selectors.
6 goals, 7 in the last quarter so far for the Bombers. It's advantage given Lucas and Platt, and it's going to come back.
Yeah, no advantage to the team.
This is the Bombers' 4th highest score ever against the Saints. So it's 190 times they play one another. So only on 3 occasions prior to this have they scored a bigger one than this. So it's a big night for them. They've really put the Saints away.
And still watching Lloyd like a hawk.
Oh, that's a tumble punt.
That's it. So a big night all round. Bit of a reality check for the Saints in the end, wasn't it? Running into some reasonable form, but blown away here by a team has now won 12 straight. Huttos with Stephen Alessio.
Well done, Steve. Pretty easy win in the end.
Oh, we just have to keep working through the game, and to the boys' credit, they did.
Last week in the VFL, back and got the full challenge tonight, running in the ruck. You must have enjoyed that.
Yeah, it makes a difference. Get some game time in, and it's just good to keep the match fitness up, and hopefully we can continue on.
How have you assessed your form this year?
Oh, I've been pretty down at the moment, so it's good to just get this good one under my belt.
Everyone's getting a run in the VFL. Do you think Sheeds will give Hurdy and Lloydie a run in the VFL?
Oh, I think there's no chance of that.
Thanks, Steve.
No worries. Thanks a lot.
Well, the Kangaroos next week. Can they make it 13 straight and join Melbourne and Geelong? And then who knows? I mean, right now, Centrebet, we've been in contact with Centrebet tonight, and they think they'll be $1.90 tonight. They've never had a team as short as this ever. They're even money at the moment to go top, $2. They think they'll be $1.90 odds on. No team's ever got close to that. I mean, it's a ridiculous price to be truthful.
Yep.
And the betting on them going through unbeaten now continues to shorten each week.
But at this stage, Bruce, even though it's ridiculous, it's pretty much a fair reflection of their dominance.
It's probably realistic.
They don't look like getting beaten. They don't look like anyone getting near them at the moment.
Talking about not getting near them, Hutto, I think Dipper was safe most of the night, wasn't he, with the call?
I think he was. David, no luck tonight.
No, they were outclassed tonight, but there's always next week, so...
We've got the Coca-Cola products for you tonight, so enjoy those. Now, Amy, you brought your friends down from Dimboola. Tim Watson country, but you didn't get near it, really.
No, but Essendon played really well, so bad luck about the 45,000, but oh well.
All right, well done. Take the Coca-Cola products home. Back to you, Bruce.
Dipper will keep his job, Hutto, I reckon.
Yes, he will.
50,000 next week if you go to Richmond and Adelaide. We'll be back with more after this in the end. 86 points, the Bombers over the Saints.